Every day in Jacksonville today, and the crowd is still filing in here on a Friday night. We've had the flip of the coin. Jacksonville will be kicking off Tony Baselli to the Super Bowl champion Giants. And conditions tonight, now if you've played in these before, you know all about it. It's nice. You welcome?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, maybe a little humid, but nothing serious. It's very pleasant. We had a little bit of wind earlier. It was blowing pretty good up here in the booth. The wind has died down. The flags on the goalpost are not doing too much, so shouldn't be an issue in the kicking game tonight. And it's a beautiful night, Friday night, to kick off the season here in Jacksonville.
Josh Scobie has the ball teed up at the 35. Deep back, they've got DJ Ware and David Wilson. And they'll bring it out with Wilson. You all know about the kickoffs a year ago. There are a lot of touchbacks, and the return of 20 yards takes him up to about the 20-yard line. This brings in the two-time Super Bowl MVP and two-time Super Bowl champion quarterback Eli Manning.
And one of the best quarterbacks, and he was the best last year, Kevin, in the fourth quarter. Awesome in the 2-minute drive. It seems like the bigger the situation, the more pressure Eli Manning gets better. That's maybe why he's one of the best playoff and Super Bowl quarterbacks in a long time.
The big talk in the Giants camp is trying to develop a running game because that was lacking a season ago, yet they still won the title. And here they go with Bradshaw in the backfield. First down and 10. 43 defense for the Jaguars. Ahmad Bradshaw. And up to about the 23-yard line. To give him a gain of 4. Buzz Lesney was there, and also Andre Branch. Let's take a look now at what the Giants have up front. Locklear just signed this past spring with the team. Boss is still in the middle at the center. David Deal is a good right tackle.
And he's gone from the left side to the right side, replacing Reggie McKenzie. Locklear's in for Will Beatty, who's hurt tonight. He's their starting left tackle. And then you can look at the receivers. Victor Cruz, Kevin, what a year he had last year.
He's terrific, a all-pro player. Here is a second down and 7. This is Bradshaw again. Stuck and hit. Middleton brings him down after a gain of 5, and they put him out at about the 26, 27-yard line. We've been talking all week long about this kid, Andre Branch, who's playing that defensive end.
He is probably the best athlete on the defensive side of the ball. Huge upside, best possible or potentially pass rusher since Tony Brackens was here a long time ago.
Mincy moves to the other side. Paul plus Lesney, you see right there, mans the middle. Letterman tackles a season ago. Ross and Cox are at the corner. Mathis will not play tonight. Here is a 3rd and 2 for Eli Manning. And that is caught about the 38-yard line, and it was grabbed on the play by Martellus Bennett, the ex-Dallas Cowboy. He's up to the 38. It is a first down, and let's go downstairs. And the third member of our crew is Brent Martineau. Brent, good evening.
Good evening, guys. Hey, this offense is all the talk in town and really across the National Football League, all the changes they've had. But what about the defense? 6th-ranked defense a year ago, and they did not have a lot of changes. Mel Tucker comes back as a defensive coordinator, and a lot of those pieces still here, though they do have some spots to fill at defensive end and linebacker. Back up to you.
Manning on 1st and 10. Barden with the catch. That's a first down to the 48-yard line as the Jaguars are watching that receiver cut inside. And so mark him for a first down.
And a couple differences in the defensive line for the Jaguars tonight with Tyson Alualu coming back from the knee surgery in the offseason. Terrence Knight and their 2 starters last year. Both Terrence is playing. Tyson is not. So you have C.J. Mosley and Smith in there for those 2 individuals.
First down and 10. And this is Ahmad Bradshaw. Down for a gain of 2 to the 46-yard line. Submarining his way, and Kyle Bosworth, 3 years out of UCLA, makes the Jaguars stop.
And Bosworth is going to be a guy who's going to make this team because of special teams. Daryl Smith is their best linebacker, him and Paul Posluszny. He's out with a little bit of a groin. And so a lot of guys are going to get some time. You're going to see a lot of these young linebackers, and Bosworth is one of them.
2nd down and 8 on the game-opening drive for the Giants, who took the opening kickoff. And this is Bradshaw once again. And then hit by Aaron Ross, the former Giant who was on that team and started a year ago. It's a gain of 4, and they mark him at the 43.
Hey, Kevin, one of the big stories we talk about is these officials. And a lot of questions about holding penalties and everything. You can look right here at Jeremy Mincy, and he is getting tackled right on the end of the line. Official looking at that play. You have the referee sitting in the backfield. That's a call that I think gets made by the regular officials.
3rd down and 5. Extra bodies in the secondary for the Jaguars. Manning giving great time, and they just about picked it off right through the hands of Dwight Lowry. 5 years with the Ravens, but he comes up with a nice play. The defense holds, and so now they'll have to punt the ball on their first possession. Will the Super Bowl champs?
Now, if Dwight Lowry was a wide receiver, Jerry Sullivan would make him run around the field. One of the receivers this year in camp, Kevin, for the Jaguars, if they drop a pass, they have to jog a lap. Dwight Lowry's happy right now. He's not a receiver. He'd be jogging around Everbank Field.
Steve Weatherford is going to punt for New York, who began that drive at the 20. Martellus Bennett was the big play on the drive. They also got Durden with a nice pass, but they have to give it up. And deep back for the Jaguars is the receiver. You can see him waving his hands there, the slot receiver. That's Mike Thomas, and that's where the Jaguars will begin their first possession with a look at Blaine Gabbert. A lot of talk, a lot of focus on him again this season. We're just into the game and no score here in Jacksonville. Talked to Blaine Gabbert, Tony Baselli, this morning. He kept using the word, I'm comfortable. It's comforting to be in this kind of a system, in this kind of an offensive culture.
Well, I think you'd be comfortable, too, if you got an offseason where you actually could learn the playbook before you were the starter. He came in last year, Kevin. 1 week later, he's starting against the in the preseason up in New England, and it kind of just snowballed after that during the regular season. This year, he told us, by the time they were in OTAs, he knew the entire offense, and now he is so comfortable because he knows what to expect.
So after the Giants punt after 7 plays at the 11-yard line, Gabbert begins things. 1st and 10 with Jennings in the backfield, and right to work goes the Missouri quarterback, and he's whacked and he overshoots his tight end. He was hit hard, and coming up the middle was Justin Tuck, who said, "Welcome to 2012." Incomplete pass.
And that's one of the things we talked about in the pregame show, is that this offensive line's got to protect this kid. Everyone blames the kid for not sitting in there and not making good throws. Well, you got Cameron Bradfield starting to right tackle for the first time this preseason. Was just moved there 2 days ago. Evan Britton, the left guard. He gets beat inside by Justin Tuck. There was no flinch in Blaine Gabbert. He hung in there, but it's hard to complete a pass when you're getting hit in your ear hole as you're throwing it.
Thomas comes in as the slot receiver. 2nd down and 10 from the 11. And Jennings to about the 16-yard line. Gain of 5. Tuck among others in there. Some shoving after the play. We got Britton on the left side playing the guard. Monroe is at the left tackle. Brad Meester, the ever-reliable center, is still there. When Arian has talked about Bradfield at that right tackle position. So, as you mentioned in the open, Tony, not one practice have we seen with these skill players right here. We talked about Jennings. Shorts is now playing in that position. Blackman will be the 2 receiver, and LaRon Robinson is the $7 million a year wide receiver coming from the Dallas Cowboys. It's 3rd down and 5. Bradfield had a nice block, and they go outside with the catch made at the 23-yard line, and across the way, that is Robinson with the grab. It's a pickup of 7. It is a 1st down for Jacksonville.
Kevin, you did two Monday night games last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I know we talked about it. Blaine never looked comfortable. On this first play, on this first 3rd down, he drops back, gets his feet underneath him. His footwork is so much better than last year, and very fluid, and throws a strike to LaRon Robinson. That's very encouraging. I know it's early, but just seeing that comfort, it's what we talked about a second ago. He looks comfortable.
Cecil Shorts, one of the receivers out there. 1st and 10. First possession for Jacksonville. And Jennings. Bradfield with a nice block, and in the secondary he flies and knocked out of bounds near the 40. He was hit on the play by Antrell Roll, who led this team in tackles. A 17-yard run, another 1st down for the Jaguars.
Nobody is going to tell you that Rashad Jennings is better than Maurice Jones-Drew. Maurice Jones-Drew, the leading rusher last year, but I'll tell you one thing about Rashad Jennings. He's faster than Maurice. He has big playability. You saw him get around the corner, and he's dangerous down the sideline.
Pierre Paul, number 90 there at the defensive end. He was a first-team All-Pro player, 16 sacks a season ago. Rivers was a former number 1 pick by Cincinnati. Kiwanuka on the other side. And the secondary strong with a lot of speed back there, including Webster and Amokamura. It's 1st and 10. Pitch out for the first time to the left side with Shorts blocking for Jennings. It is a gain of 4 on the play, and we'll spot him at the 43.
Nice play right there. They pulled Eugene Monroe. He got outside, and they had Greg Jones on the lead block, and they're going to come right at us. Watch 33, and he just takes Prince Makamura and just drives him into the ground. Nothing better than that, Kevin. As an old offensive lineman, I love when that defense is the back of their jersey gets nice and grimy.
And you let him know about it, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I jump back on him and let him know that what's going to happen all day long.
Second down. And a long 6, short 7 for Gabbert. Deflected and incomplete. In the vicinity there was Corey Webster. He led him in interceptions a season ago.
You know, that just goes to show you, Blaine Gabbert 6'5", and everyone talks about, you know, the taller quarterbacks, and you have guys like Drew Brees who are barely 6 feet. At the end of the day, as a quarterback, you have to learn to throw through lanes. I don't care how big and tall you are. These defensive linemen for the New York Giants, you got Jason Pierre-Paul. His reach is probably 10 feet long. He reaches up there. You're not going to throw it over him. You got to find lanes and get the ball through the defense.
Giants with 4 in the secondary. 3rd down and 6. Gabbert. Another first down pass. Wide receiver Mike Thomas led him in receptions a year ago. Picks up 11 yards. So on the drive, he's had Robinson for a first down pass of 7. Jennings had a run of 17. And that catch right there good for 12 and a first.
Just seeing Mike Thomas work in the slot, that's where he's most comfortable. That's where he's gotten back to this year. He was outside, not as comfortable in that position. Just working against the nickel, a little simple out route. And the pretty thing about that, the ball's thrown on time and in the right place where only Mike Thomas is going to get it. Seeing these first downs, if you're a Jaguar fan, is very welcoming. Didn't see a lot of drives like this last year.
Giants have gone with 5 in the secondary now, with a 1st and 10 for Jacksonville on their first possession. Jennings. Not a whole lot there. Chase Blackburn from the linebacking crew among many, and a gain of 2 on the play. You know, we talk about Jennings, and I mentioned before he had a 17-yard run earlier on this drive. He missed all of last season with the knee injury, so he's kind of coming back fresh and with a lot to prove.
And this is what he needs to do, Kevin, as he gets into between the tackles. Everyone knows his explosiveness outside. We saw that earlier. And I think what everyone wants to see, how does he handle between the tackles? That's where Mojo is so good. He was good in the scrimmage, Rashad, of getting those pads down low, and that's going to be critical.
On 2nd down and 8. Quick slant dropped by Robinson. Going inside. Was that for Shorts? That was Cecil Shorts maybe going in for him. Incomplete pass.
I don't know if it was a drop, like you said, Kevin, or if it was a great job by Kenny Phillips of getting in there. Excuse me.
Combination of both?
Yeah, it was a combination of both. It was Corey Webster, excuse me. And it was a bang-bang play. It's one if you're on offense, you want your guy to catch.
Right.
If you're on defense, you say, hey, great play, way to knock it down.
And Shorts has kind of moved up in the lineup here a little bit too.
He's played very well in the preseason, in camp so far.
3rd down and 8. They need the 34. Gabbert, nice touch. Thomas, tackled by Makamura. The catch and run to the 12. A 31-yard pickup and a first down. Make him, 1st and 10 from the 12.
We talked about protection. Look at the pocket. Look at all the room he has right there. And then Mike Thomas working the deep out. And that's nice to see. Mike Thomas has actually struggled the first 2 weeks of camp, especially week 1. He was not himself, dropping balls, didn't look good running routes. He played better in the scrimmage, and he's just improved all week, and he's carrying it over into this first preseason game.
Colin Cloherty is in. He is in motion right now. Jennings remains 1st and 10 from the 12. And Rashad Jennings, nice hole on that right side, digging his way near the 5. Brought down in the secondary by Phillips. A burst of 6. So a nice balance here, run and pass for the Jaguar offense.
And Mike Mularkey said, listen, we're going to throw the ball more. You have to in this league, Kevin. We see it every week around the league. The teams that are successful nowadays are teams who can put it in the air. I mean, we're looking at the New York Giants, Super Bowl champs. They were 32nd in the league in rushing last year.
Jason Spitz has come in, and checking out has been Meester. 2nd down and short. Jennings to about the 3.
Actually, that's John Estes.
John Estes, excuse me.
He's the backup center, and Mike told us today during during our pregame meeting that Brad Meester would be limited. 13-year vet, more starts than anybody else, and we're looking at the inside look. Good movement by Uche Wanari, number 77, against Linval Joseph, just moving him out. But Brad's been limited all camp, not because of injury, just because Mike Mularkey says, listen, 13 years, this guy's a very good player. He knows what to do. We're going to give him a couple reps and get him out and get John Estes in there.
Zach Potter has taken the field. 3rd down and 1. Gabbert. Touchdown. Cecil Shorts beating Prince of Nakamura. A 3-yard touchdown pass.
A perfect pass into the corner. Very nice touch. Gabbert scans the field, finds Cecil Shorts, and he goes up and gets both feet in bounds. 2 guys last year that were highly criticized, hooking up for the first touchdown of the preseason. And I wonder, Kevin, if some of the criticism after and I know it's only 1 drive, but seeing what Blaine Gabbert was able to do in command of that offense, you wonder if some of that criticism maybe starts quieting down just a little bit. A long way to go, but boy, what a great start to the preseason in this 2012 season for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And as we know, every scoring play is reviewed upstairs, but that drive, which began on the Jacksonville 11 after the Jaguar defense held the Giants to 7 plays punt, had some terrific plays on that drive. And let's see, he has the catch, 1 foot down, 2, he's got it, that is a touchdown.
And he controlled the ball throughout.
He did.
The catch, he went down.
It was not moving.
There was no movement at all. And now they're going to kick it.
So Shorts gets the 3-yard touchdown reception. Here is Scobie with the extra point. Thomas had catches of 12 and 31. Jennings had a run of 17. And early in the game, the Jacksonville Jaguars in their first possession with the lead on the Jaguar Television Network. Hey fans, be all in with Jaguar tickets starting at just $40 per game. Call 904-633-2000 or visit Jaguars.com. Jaguars sales representatives are standing by right now. Great balance to that Jaguar drive we just saw.
Yeah, 7 passes, 6 runs. Very balanced. And the nice thing was some big 3rd down conversions. And we're looking at the touchdown right there to Cecil Shorts working man coverage, and a nice job of Cecil Shorts getting a good release off the ball, working the corner of the end zone, and then the throw was perfect, right where only Cecil could get it.
Excellent touch. The ensuing kickoff, 7-0 Jacksonville. This will be the rookie out of Virginia Tech, David Wilson. And he finds a lane. Wilson on the move. Mike Harris tries to stop him, and he stops him, but at midfield at the 49-yard line, a 48-yard return. Setting up things for Eli Manning, who finds his Giants down 7-0 here. 4:48 in the first. Gabbert was a terrific 4-7 on that drive. The touchdown pass of 3 yards to Shorts. The Giants just returned the ensuing kickoff 48 yards. Now that defense, which looked good the first time they faced Manning and the Giant offense, comes in with some things to match from a season ago. Tony Basilli, they were number 6. The Jacksonville defense was in the NFL.
And they were very good against the run. They were great against the run, good against the pass. If they can get some pass rush out of Andre Branch, Mincy picking up, they could be very dangerous.
Play action by Eli Manning on 1st and 10. Catch here by Victor Cruz, and look at him following blocking, get one from Bradshaw inside the 25. The catch and run to the 23. It is a 1st down for the Giants, and that is why he was a first-team All-Pro, a 17-yard pickup.
But watch Victor Cruz. It's just a little simple route, and then he just keeps on coming back to the ball. But the issue was how much time Eli Manning had. He sat back there. He wasn't harassed at all. Very comfortable scanning the field. And Victor Cruz can run a deep comeback, and you only can cover guys so long.
Well, that's why the pass rush is such a concern for Jacksonville. Not very much a part of last year's D. That's why Branch, the right defensive end, is being counted on even as a rookie. He's out of Clemson, a 2nd-round pick. It is 1st and 10 from the 23 for Eli Manning. Right through the hands of Cruz, and the coverage on the play by DeJuan Landry. 2nd down and 10.
I think Victor Cruz was looking at 26 coming from midfield.
Wouldn't you?
I would. But I don't think Tom Coughlin wants Victor Cruz looking down the field. And I promise you Eli Manning doesn't, because that was a fastball that should have been caught right between the numbers. Victor Cruz said, let me peek to see who's coming to hit me.
5 in the secondary. And here's the running back, and that is Ahmad Bradshaw, and that's 2nd down and 10. And He's got 8 yards right there. Bradshaw is there. They've made some changes in their backfield. They're looking for some help. And Manning would like, well, what they always say, a quarterback's best friend is a good run game, and the Giants are trying to polish that off on their offense.
Well, that's why they got David Wilson, another speedster, breakaway back to go with Bradfield back there. They were 32nd in the NFL. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl, but I think Tom Coughlin, Kevin Gilbride, they realize they have to be better running the ball if they want to win consistently.
In the nickel. 3rd and 3. Manning to the end zone, and incomplete for Jarrell Jernigan. Well, he played 8 games a season ago. That was a catchable ball. Good coverage on the play, too, by the Jaguars.
It was excellent coverage, but I'm trying to figure out, Middleton got away with one there, Kevin.
Held his arm down.
Watch his left arm hold.
Yep.
Number 12, the right arm down of number 12, Jarrell Jernigan, and he only could get one hand up there. We talk about the replacement officials. That was one that you should call.
Here's a 34-yard field goal try by Lawrence Tynes, which is right down the middle, and so the Giants are on the board. But the defense, after the Giants had good beginning field position, only allows 3.
It was a good job stopping the Giants to 3. They got a little help from the official, but they stopped it.
This is the Jaguar Television Network. 3-yard touchdown pass by Gabbert. Moments ago, a 34-yard Giant field goal by Tynes. And for a limited time only, Jaguar 5-game half-season packs are now on sale. Choose the games you want to see with multiple game options available, starting at just $40 per game. Call 904-633-2000 or visit Jaguars.com and get your half pack today. That's a good deal.
Absolutely. And a lot of great things going on here at the stadium, obviously on the field, but also new sound system in the stadium, a lot of different fan amenities that Shad Khan is adding to the fan experience.
Tynes with the kickoff. Jalen Parmley is driven out of the end zone. And so when we get back at the 20-yard line, Jacksonville will start things. We'll get another look at their quarterback, Blaine Gabbert. Cruz had a nice catch and a drop on that last possession for Eli Manning. 7-3 Jacksonville. Game day's not too far away here. Opening of the season will be September 9th. Jaguars will be in Minnesota. I just got my CBS.
I was going to say, you're going to be doing it.
I just got my CBS assignments for the first month, and I'll be in Minneapolis doing that game. First down and 10. Here's the end around. Cecil Shorts with the block by Robinson. A fumble on the play and recovered by Justin Tuck. A turnover by the Jaguars at their own 29-yard line.
You know, Kevin, I was just getting ready to say a lot of good things about Cecil Short because he's had a great camp. He's the speedster. He's an explosive player. He does a good job of getting outside. But he made the cardinal error. He has the ball in his inside hand. He's got to get that ball in the outside arm towards the sideline to protect it because of all the traffic that's coming right at him. It's much easier to lose the football. He fumbles it, Justin Tuck. And now you have a sudden change. Now this is good work for the Jaguars. Mel Tucker's going to want to see how his defense responds in this situation.
I think it was Amukamura who knocked that ball free, ripped it free, and
he's out there carrying it like a loaf of bread.
Yes, can't do that. And did you see Robinson with the lead block? The other wide receiver, LaRon Robinson, out there, and with Malarkey and all of his Pittsburgh roots.
A lot of different things are going to happen.
Bill Cowher, you're going to see more blocking by the wide receivers, which is going to be welcome.
It sure is.
First down and 10 yards to go. This is Ware, who comes in now, and he skirts by Mincy, and he dances for a couple yards. He's down to the 26-yard line of Jacksonville after the fumble.
And now we have Terrence Knighton coming into the ball game. A guy that this franchise feels very strongly about can be a dominant nose guard. Him and C.J. Mosley in the game at the same time. That's two big individuals, well over 315 pounds, both those guys. But Terrence Knighton at his smallest in a long time, about 320, 325, and they like that. They like that a lot.
Say, as a pro, he's probably the lightest he's been.
Absolutely.
Second down and 8 for Eli Manning at the 27-yard line of Jacksonville. Broken up beautifully on the play. There's some nice defense there, and Landry was in the vicinity along with William Middleton. Nice defense by the Jaguars.
And William Middleton in the game for Derek Cox, who's on the sidelines with the injury, and he does a great job of hanging right in there on the comeback route by Jernigan. He fights back, and does a good job of getting that offhand to knock the ball down without interfering with the receiver.
Rutland is in. Middleton is the other corner. Derek Cox has been taken out with an injury. We'll get an update on that in just a second. On this 3rd down and 8, Eli, the blitz was on. Incomplete. They were going from Barden, and a flag has been thrown, and it may have come from Ross coming from the wing on the blitz.
I want to see that again.
Well, let's see.
I mean, I think they just called roughing the passer. We're going to see Aaron Ross coming off from the nickel position on the blitz. And Kevin, if that's a penalty,
let's see what it is.
Personal foul, face mask, grabbing the back of the helmet, 15-yard penalty, number 20 on the Jaguars, automatic, first down.
Kevin, it's been more physical in the booth right now up here than that play was.
Well, and it's been physical up here too. So
there's more kind of. I mean, I'm trying to see where the penalty is. Grabbing.
I thought he grabbed the back of the jersey, but
I didn't see any grabbing the back of the helmet at all. That's a ticky-tack penalty, and that's unfortunate because that converts the Giants to a first down and deep into the Jaguar territory.
DJ Ware is the running back. It is a first down from the 12-yard line, and Ware gets the call. Down to about the 10 and a gain of 2. And let's go downstairs to Brent Martineau.
Guys, we've seen William Middleton make a couple of plays in that defensive backfield. He's in the game for Derek Cox, who has a slight calf strain, questionable to return. Back up to you.
Cox, pretty solid player in that
Cox
secondary.
is a very good player, but Kevin, part of the problem with Derek Cox is he gets injured. He's been injured almost every year since he's been here, and they're all soft tissue injuries. I think it was a hamstring last year. We have a strained calf for Derek Cox, and that's frustrating because if you need your best players, especially at the corner position, on the field.
Second down, 8. Ware, huge hole inside the 5 and digging to the 1. What great effort as it was hit inside by Lowry. It's a pickup of 8, and he earned every inch of that run.
Yeah, first contact by Paul Posluszny only after about a 3-yard gain, and that's going to drive Mel Tucker crazy. Because you can see right there, Paul Posluszny does a good job, but he just goes for a ride. And DJ Ware taking that Jaguar defense down to the doorstep of the goal line.
First and goal. A fumble by Short set up this possession. Ware corkscrews in for the touchdown. Late notice, but there he goes in. Nice little block there by Martellus Bennett. And they cash in on the fumble.
Initially it was stopped by the Jaguars. Good job of not giving any ground, but give DJ Ware credit. Felt the pressure, felt the contact, does a nice little spin move to his right and just keeps that body lean forward and falls into the end zone.
Ware, 6 years out of Georgia, initially signed off the New York Jets practice squad. And plays second fiddle to Ahmad Bradshaw. Here is the extra point try now by Lawrence Times. 41 seconds to play here in the first quarter, and the Giants have gone on top 10-7. They've scored on 2 consecutive possessions before a 34-yard field goal. So the Giants cash in on the Jaguar turnover. Look at Mike Mularkey. Last couple years he's been in Atlanta working with Matt Ryan. 8 years in Pittsburgh, former tight end in the NFL from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, high school quarterback, played at the University of Florida. He's about as well prepared as any guy they could possibly could.
And I thought it was interesting what he said about Matt Ryan today, comparing him to Blaine Gabbert. He said there's really no comparison. We got Matt Ryan, and he was a fifth-year senior coming after his fifth-year senior year at Virginia. He said Blaine Gabbert was a true junior last year. This would be his 5th year if he was still in college. He said, let's compare them after next year and see where they stand, because it's really not fair, the maturity level, the experience, and everything else. And look at Mike Mularkey right here. He's done it the hard way, working his way up. He was the head coach of Buffalo, did not work out. He didn't like the situation there. He said he was going to wait for the right situation, did a great job helping rebuild the Atlanta Falcons with Mike Smith getting them to the playoffs. And he was really excited about coming to Jacksonville with Gene Smith, Shad Khan, the new ownership. He felt like this was a good situation for him to be able to do it his way.
Tines will kick off again. Parmley is deep back for the Jaguars. 8 yards deep, and he will leave it in the end zone. The other thing, too, which is an important thing to establish, is the trust of the players. And I think he has appreciated Mike Mularkey. That as a player, 9 years as a tight end, and certainly as an assistant coach, a 2-year head coach at Buffalo, he has seen a lot, he has absorbed a lot, and I think he has tried to put his culture-changing fingerprints in a lot of different ways on this team.
And he talked about things being black and white. And he said, listen, as a head coach and as a staff, we're going to say how things are going to be, but then our actions are going to back that up so that we can build that trust in the locker room.
Touchback to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for Blaine Gabbert. And everybody moving on that line. Gabbert played at the University of Missouri for head coach Gary Pinkel. One of the best quarterbacks, obviously, in college football. Offsides, Giants.
Good job with Blaine Gabbert working the hard count. He sees the Giants up there, anxious. Looks like they were blitzing. A good way to slow them down is that hard count.
You said something interesting about Gabbert before, comparing his entrance into this season, Tony, compared to last year as a rookie with the lockout and no off-season workouts at all.
Well, he told us in the production meeting today, he said, listen, I know the entire offense. I don't come out of the huddle guessing and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Now I look at the defense and I know what everyone's supposed to do, know what the coverage is, and know what the defense is going to give me.
1st and 5 with the penalty on the Giants. Jennings in the backfield. Shorts on the move. Shot Jennings. He was hit initially by Matthias Kiwanuka. Shoving after the play there.
A little bit of
Umanura.
Some wrestling, and
Greg Jones.
I'd like to make a suggestion to Osi Umanura. I know he's a tough guy, big guy, but if there's one guy I would not mess with on the Jacksonville Jaguars,
it's 33, yeah.
It's Greg Jones. You know what his nickname is, Kevin? The Hammer.
Yeah.
If you're called the Hammer, it's best you just stay away from him. Greg Jones, one of the toughest, strongest guys in the locker room, and I promise you, he's not going to take anything from anyone. And it's just, don't tell me this doesn't matter. It's preseason, but the guys in this field, the guys who are good in this league, they have pride. And I don't care. You strap it up out there, and you have some pride in what you do. You're going to go after each other.
It's always on tape.
It's always on tape. Everyone's watching, and you have to answer for your actions and your play tomorrow morning with the entire coaching staff and all your teammates.
Shorts had a 3-yard touchdown reception from quarterback Blaine Gabbert, but he also fumbled, which set up a Manning possession deep in Jacksonville territory and a 1-yard Ware touchdown run. At the end of one, the Giants 10-7 over Jacksonville on the Jaguars Television Network.
Back here in Jacksonville as we open up the second quarter, the teams switch sides and it's 2nd down and about 1, and again the Jags keep it on the ground. It's going to be awfully close, depends upon where they want to mark it. I don't think that they've got the 1st down. That was Rashad Jennings who ran into Mark Herzlich as the Giants have put their second team defense on the field, and Herzlich is a guy we were told to watch.
Yeah, because he is so athletic, mentally tough, physically tough. And the thing for him is, can he play instinctively? Has he transitioned in his knowledge of this game to play instinctively? And you saw him fill the hole there like a true middle linebacker.
3rd and about a foot. The Jags obviously go to their short yardage package, and we'll see if the Giants can provide some stout defense. Not that time. Jennings up the middle for the 1st down. Let's look at Herzlich here.
Let's take a look. Had a missed call there. It looks like it could have been an offsides there. And he never got it. Here's a movement right there. The officials gave him too much of a neutral zone.
That was Adrian Tracy, who has the inside track as the 4th defensive end, Carl. So 1st and 10 Jacksonville from its own 33. Tracy jumps again, and this time they caught him.
Probably thought he can get away with
Offside.
it again.
Number 98 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Now, Carl, as I recall, and you would know this from being a player, they always tell you it's not a penalty if you can get away with it, but not that time.
Well, you know what? It's a penalty when they throw the flag and the offense moves the ball without running a play. He'll know it's a penalty when he gets in that meeting room tomorrow.
Tracy out of Wake Forest at 6'2", 245, was on injured reserve last season, but with Dave Tollefson signing as a free agent with the Raiders, there is a spot open for Tracy to make this team. Gabbert throws long downfield, and he had a wide open Robinson, but misfired.
Yeah, that was a very long developing play there, and he ran an out route, a deep out route there, and just ran off the corner. They were playing thirds on that, and the corner was playing not to get beat deep.
Gabbert now 4 of 9. There you get a look at Tracy. They really like him a lot because he does get after the passer. The problem, he's going to have to stay on sides. Gabbert's thrown for 51 yards so far tonight. Second down at about 5. They will go back to Jennings, who is really getting a healthy dose of action. He's got himself a Jacksonville first down.
I tell you, the Jacksonville offensive line coach is going to be very pleased with the results of this line play thus far in the game.
That's a gain of 6. Hey, Tuesday night, the Yankees are back in action here on My 9 as they take on the Rangers. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. as the Bombers face Josh Hamilton and the Rangers at home in the Bronx. Watch as these two tight-placed teams battle it out, the Yankees and the Rangers, Tuesday at 7 here on My 9. First and 10, Jacksonville from its own 44. Gabbert back to the air, wants Robinson again. This time Tryon was in coverage and the pass was well overthrown. Get the opinion that they really want to get Robinson involved into this offense, Carl. You know, last year he played with Dallas, had 11 touchdown catches, and burned the Giants a couple of times.
Well, they paid a lot of money to get him here. Now take a look at what's wrong with the Giants offense, the Giants defensive line at the point of attack. You're going to have to keep an eye on this guy right here, Sean Rogers. He tried to swim one move and just got washed down. He's got to be stout at the front point of attack.
Second and long, so the Giants come with a blitz. Tracy cannot get there. The dump off is going to go for another Jacksonville first down as Gabbert is effectively moving this team. That is an 11-yard pickup, and Mercedes Lewis has got the Jaguars on the move.
Sean Rogers here tries an arm over, and they run the ball right off his butt. He's a big 340-pound guy. He's got to be strong at the point of attack. He can't try a swim move.
Keith Rogers had that last stop. Gabbert now 5 of 10 for 62 yards. Alvin Austin hasn't played in a football game since December of 2009 when he was at North Carolina. So this is kind of new business for him all over again.
Yeah, it is, and he's just getting pushed back right there by 2 guys. Still getting run off to the sideline.
And again, Rashad Jennings having success as he bullies his way for 6 yards inside the Giants' 40.
Here you are on the left end of the screen here. You've got 2 guys. If we bring it up, there's Austin. He's got to be strong now. They've got to watch his reps too. Like you said, he hadn't played much. So every rep is a new rep for him as a pro. He's a redshirt rookie as well.
Austin at 6'2", 312. Came in a little overweight during the early part of the spring, but has gotten his conditioning going. That is a sweet play by Jason Pierre-Paul, who suddenly is back in the game with the second unit.
Well, you got to get the reps there. He just knifed right through there, read the block. They tried to overblock him, and he went right underneath it. Here he is, just going right underneath there, making the play.
Not that time, Mr. Jennings. A loss of 2. Maybe the Giants just had enough of him. Call it third down and 6 from the Giants' 41. Coming up on 10.5 to go in the first half. The Giants lead 10-7. Gabbert out of the gun. The release back is Jennings. Here comes pressure in the pocket, and Adrian Tracy has his first career pro sack, albeit in the preseason. He drills Gabbert back in Jacksonville territory.
But I'll tell you why that play was good. You look at the inside of that line, if we get a chance to look at it, Marvin Austin was a bulldozer there. He collapsed the pocket. Take a look here. He just goes and collapses the pocket, which allowed Tracy to come around and force that fumble.
And it is recovered by Jason Pierre-Paul. So the Giants have the ball at the Jacksonville 47.
One of the things this defensive line was very good at last year is creating turnovers. This defense created turnovers up front, and that seems to still be going. But what they have to do is play better on the first and second down runs, because rushing the passer in obvious passing situations, they do that well.
So Tuck and JPP have recovered fumbles for the Giants. The Tuck fumble was turned into a touchdown. We'll see what they do with this one from his fellow defensive lineman. David Carr will now check in at quarterback for the Giants, and he will take over first down inside the Jacksonville 48-yard line. So Eli Manning is done for the night. And for David Carr, this is going to be really strange, because you know, Carl, last season he didn't even take a snap, as Eli Manning proved to be an Iron Man once again.
Well, yeah, this is his chance to show that he's their insurance policy, but you want to have a guy who can execute your offense, and the reason he's on this roster, again, is because they feel very confident in his abilities to execute.
Carr gives off to DJ Ware, who has no room around the right side. Then there's a late penalty marker on the play. Could be holding.
Well, you got Mosley there, I think it is, who just couldn't hold up on the edge. Yeah, I think it's Brandon Mosley there.
The 4th-round pick out of Auburn. Jerry Hughes and his crew converge. And it's a Jaguars face mask. George Selvey gets called for the face mask, the automatic Giants first down, and so Carr's first play turns out to be successful.
Yeah, well, that's by default. I mean, by the fault of the defense there, because the same guy who beat his man at the line of scrimmage committed the infraction as well.
Fans didn't like the call for some reason, as they boo loudly here in Jacksonville. But it is first down for the Giants at the Jacksonville 32. Carr's got split receivers. Carr dumps it off to the 30, and this Martellus Bennett knocked out of bounds near the 28. Now on Thursday, August 30th, join the NFL and the New York Giants in celebrating the return of football with the first ever NFL Back to Football run in Central Park. Sign up now at nyrr.org. And as we saw that completion of 4 yards to Martellus Bennett, hey, he's an athletic player, Carl.
No, he really is. He blocked there and then released into the flat, and Carr rolled out and dumped it right to him.
Second down and 6. Ware has a lot of room, stutter-step move, inside the 20 to the 15, down near the 11.
And that's just good downfield blocking there, too. You'll see it with Jarrell Jernigan just blocked his guy for an extended period of time.
It's a 16-yard gain.
Giants created some natural seams there, but look here at Jarrell Jernigan. He's still on his guy, pushing him towards the end zone.
William Middleton on the hit. First and 10 inside the 13. Carr looks end zone. Bennett, touchdown! Martellus Bennett puts up as he has talked the talk, and now he walks the walk, and the Giants take a 16-7 lead.
And that's a good job there. That 17-yard run is what enabled them to get some creases in that defense there.
It is a 12-yard touchdown pass. And the former Dallas Cowboys tight end comes up big.
Got a little play action. He throws it right at the crossbar there, and the 6'7" Bennett snags it down like he was getting an alley-oop.
It is 5th year out of Texas A&M.
You know, it's really good to see him have some success, because he, kind of got beat down in Dallas, where he thought he was good enough to be on the field and never got it, but he has to prove it with consistent play here with the Giants if he's going to get on the field.
Tynes boots the extra point, and so the Giants take a 17-7 lead with 8:43 left in the first half. David Carr fires one over the middle.
One-yard touchdown run by DJ Ware of the Giants, and moments ago a David Carr to Martellus Bennett touchdown pass at 12 yards off of 2 turnovers by the Jaguars. Take the hassle out of tailgating with the Jaguars Cabana. Tailgate cabanas are available for home games. Call 904-633-2000 or visit jaguars.com/cabanas to book yours today. We could use a cabana up here in the booth and a cabana assistant to go with it.
I was going to say, and all the things that come with a cabana. Little food, little drink, maybe some fans.
Mike Thomas is deep back. He had a nice first series for the Jaguars. It's this on a hop about 2 yards deep, and he'll bring it out. And stuck pretty good that time by Stevie Brown out of the University of Michigan. Former Cowboy, make it Miami quarterback, Chad Henne. I got every team in the league there. Chad Henne is coming out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome back to beautiful Everbank Field here in Jacksonville. Home of the Jaguars, a beautiful stadium, great night, maybe a little warm, but I think for the players, they kind of appreciate a night where they can get some good work in, and that's exactly what we're going to see in this preseason game.
Kevin, it's Jacksonville. This is cool and beautiful for this time of year. The players are loving it right now.
New quarterback is Chad Henne. 31 starts for the Dolphins. Jalen Parmley's now in the backfield. That's in 1st and 10. And Parmley from behind, brought down by Hendricks. Wayne Hendricks, you're out of Miami. That's a loss of 2. Where is Henne now in relation to Blaine Gabbert in camp from what you've seen through 2 weeks?
Really no comparison. Blaine Gabbert's been much better. Now, in fairness, this is the first time really Chad Henne's had a chance to go with the ones, and Mike Mularkey's done that on purpose. We have a player down on the field. John Estes, the backup center who backs up Brad Meester. And so back to Chad Henne and Blaine Gabbert. Fairness, Blaine's got the reps with the ones, Chad with the 2, but watching the 2 of them throw the ball, it's not really been that close. Blaine Gabbert's outperformed Chad Henne so far.
So we have an injury timeout and 8:14 to play here in the first half in downtown Jackson. Well, they're taking a look at third-year Hawaii backup center John Estes on the sideline. Looked like he twisted a knee. They had to help him off, and here was the play.
A lot of times the big guys, you get tied up in piles, and he got hit. I couldn't tell who that was.
I think it was Marvin Austin who jumped on him.
And I think it was Eugene Monroe blocking down on a down block with Britton Poling. Estes was trying to work up the field, and he just got his legs caught on the side, and the knee did not bend the right direction.
By the way, connect with the Jaguars at jaguars.com/connect. 2nd down and 12. Chad Henne, the quarterback. Signed March 5th as a free agent. And on the money at about the 21-yard line, and that's a gain on the play of 6 yards, and that reception by Brian Robisky. Wonderful high pick a couple years ago for Cleveland out of Ohio State, but his career has gone wayward.
And Robisky's going to be one of the guys fighting for that last receiver position. It'll be between him, Lee Evans, who was brought in as a free agent, Kevin Elliott, who we have not seen yet, the undrafted free agent out of FAMU. Those are a couple of the guys that are going to be fighting for that last position.
3rd down, about 7. Henne going deep, incomplete. Zach Potter was across the way, and the former college defensive end couldn't snag that ball, so a punt right here. So the last 3 possessions for the Jaguars, fumble, punt. The new quarterback. Should we wrap up Gabbert's night here real quick?
Yeah, let's do that. The first drive obviously speaks for itself. He was outstanding, very accurate, looked very poised in the pocket. After that, Kevin, I don't think he really had a chance. Fumble by Cecil Shorts, a little bit of pressure, quite a bit of pressure. He needs to hold onto the ball in the pocket. But overall, I give Blaine Gabbert a B grade. I think it was a very good start to the preseason.
Jaron Husky returns it, and what a punt by Brian Anger. A lot of talk about this 3rd-round pick out of Cal. We'll pick up that story when we come back. Giants will get it when we come back on the Jaguar Television Network. Well, keeping his team healthy, a big concern of Mike Mularkey. His offensive line has been hit last year. A ton of guys on IR, 25. And so with that in mind, let's get our Florida Blue health tip.
This health tip is brought to you by Florida Blue.
Hi, I'm Rashad Dennis, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protect yourself against violent sun rays. Be sure to apply sunscreen prior to the sun exposure.
Florida Blue, in the pursuit of health.
Here are the New York Giants, who return the punt to the 48-yard line of Jacksonville. 1st and 10. Andre Brown, third-year player to North Carolina State, with some lively legs and scampers for 11 as a first down to the 36 of Jacksonville.
I'll tell you what, the New York Giants right side of that offensive line just collapsed the entire defense, and there was a lot of green grass on the right side for Andre Brown. He just scampered out there, and I don't think contact was made until about 8 yards down the field, Kevin. I think you could have got 4 or 5 yards in that play.
I don't know. I need that Florida Blue Health tip there to do that. Here's David Carr again leading and taking the place of Eli Manning. Brown again bounces outside. Doesn't give up on the play before it's George Selvey. Brings him down. Gain of 6 on the play, and they'll spot him near the 30-yard line of the Jaguars. And we talked to Mike Mularkey this morning, who I'm a big fan of, by the way, in more ways than one. But he said execution is going to be important tonight, and physicality. And those are the two things he was really going to grab on.
And those were his first 2 key points for the night's game. And I thought the execution part was interesting. He said, I want guys who know what to do, but not only knowing what to do, but how to do it. And so they're going to be evaluated on both, not only mental errors and whether you were in the right place, but did you use the right technique that the coaches are teaching.
3rd down and 4. Look at the time for Carr. Now he's got to dance a little bit. Dumps it off to his tight end, Bear Pasco. And maneuvers it down for a couple yards, gaining about 2. Mark him at the 27-yard line. It must be a pretty empowering feeling to play for the Super Bowl champions, as these New York Giants now will defend the title this year. There's and talking with some of their reporters in the press box here before the game, an incredible amount of confidence. It's not cockiness, but they do feel a lot of confidence in their play, something that guys like this Jacksonville team want to pick up on certainly themselves.
Well, they need to start slow, because every year they start slow, they win the Super Bowl. When they end up 13-3, they lose in the playoffs.
That's right. 4th and 2. Brown picking and poking his way. I don't think he got the first down. He was wrapped up pretty good there. And Terrence Knight, who started 45 games for the Jaguars, allows a gain of a yard, and that would bring up on that 3rd and 1 now probably 4th and 1.
And you can see big number 96, Terrence Knight, and he is a mountain of a man, and he's smaller than he's ever been as a pro. After the incident he had in the offseason where he got hit in the eye late one night, thought he might lose his vision, and it really changed his life. As you talk to Terrence, it really was excuse the pun, but an eye-opening experience where he changed his habits, his work, how he approached everything. Very thankful for everything that he's been given, and he came in the best shape of his life. Very good attitude. He's one of the more popular guys in the locker room, and they're expecting big things from him this year.
This 3 months. The chains on the sideline were wrong. That was a 3rd and 1 run. Now it's 4th and inches, and Brent, let's send it down to you on the sideline.
Yeah, we have an update on John Estes. He is in the locker room with a knee sprain. He is not coming back into the game tonight, guys.
Well, that's tough.
Now, we know it's replacement officials. Are they a replacement chain crew too?
No, these guys are these are
the real deal.
Yeah, but they take their lead from the officials.
That's exactly right.
Now it's 4th and inches.
And Tom Coughlin, Kevin Gilbride, their offensive coordinator, are going to keep David Carr on this offense out there, and they're going to go for it.
Tom Coughlin, of course, longtime Jacksonville coach, first coach in the history of the franchise.
He's loved here, Kevin.
You played for him, obviously. You know him as well as anybody.
Yeah, he's a great guy, but he's loved in this community. He still does a lot of charitable work and gives a lot of money in Jacksonville.
4th and inches. Carr, flag, first down lunge. Let's see what that flag is all about. Carr took a pretty good hit and had to look and try to get that license plate number over there because it came from no place, and I think he was hit by Kyle Bosworth.
Yeah, I think it was Bosworth, number 56, coming from his linebacker position. But we see a flag on the field. The officials are trying to get it sorted out, and it looks like it's against the Jaguars.
91 on the Jaguars. 5-yard penalty. Penalty's enough for a first down.
I hate that call, though, Kevin. 4th and inches, you're going to play action pass, and it just seems like a a high-risk play, excuse me. A lot of things can go wrong when you roll out and you want to throw the ball on 4th and inches. As an offensive lineman, if we can't get 6 inches, we don't deserve to be on the field.
George Selvey is the one who picked up that penalty. Empty backfield for Carr. Third consecutive possession inside Jacksonville zone. Carr, 1st and 10. Look at him run. 33. What 33? Runs for a first down to the 7-yard line. It's 1st and goal for the New York Giants as Carr takes it himself and runs for 14.
I know it was a positive play for the Giants, but let's watch Andre Branch on the right end, and you can see why he was a second-round draft pick with that get-off, just beating the offensive tackle, number 73, James Brewer, at the snap, and had a very good rush. Unfortunately, there was no one in the middle, so David Carr could run up and get the first down, but good explosion by the rookie.
There's a 1st and goal run, and it goes to Andre Brown, and he picks up 3 yards, running out to about the 5-yard line. Branch is seeing a lot of snaps here in the first half.
And he needs to see a lot of snaps. It is so hard for a rookie defensive end, and he has all kinds of talent. He is a physical specimen, great explosion, but he could just use that athletic ability when he was at Clemson and overpower most of the tackles. In the NFL, you have to become a pass rusher with moves, and so he needs reps to start working his arsenal.
They said, though, he was better against the run than they thought.
He is. He's a strong kid, and he's been practicing very well.
2nd and goal. Carr rainbows it just over the reach of Reuben Randall, rookie and a 2nd-round pick out of LSU.
I wanted to say that was Mario Manningham.
Yeah, but he's no longer
there, but you see that 82, or you remember the Super Bowl with the great catch on the sideline.
I remember it well. I saw
you were calling that game for on the radio, and I saw 82 flash, and I said, wait, he's not here anymore.
That was the play of the game.
One of the great catches in all football history.
Yeah, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 3rd and goal. Carr, stand back. Oh, he brought it in. Was he in? They signal touchdown. And Isaiah Stanback, the former Dallas Cowboy, grabs it from 5 with an acrobatic grab, and the Giants have scored on a 4th consecutive possession.
And he was working against number 22, Kevin Rutland, who's had an outstanding training camp. We'll look at it right here. A lot of contact by Kevin Rutland. He was holding on there.
Oh,
it's just a great catch by Isaiah Stanback, just going up with one arm, one-handed catch to right hand, and very easily could have seen a pass interference or holding penalty there because of all the contact. Kevin Rutland never really got his hands off him. Still a touchdown, but that's 4 straight scores, and after a great start by the Jaguars in the first offense and the first defense, it's been a little bit of a struggle since then.
Tynes makes it 24-7. David Carr's come off the Tom Coughlin bench and replacing Eli Manning, and has thrown 2 touchdown passes. 4 of 5, 23 yards. He's run. He had a terrific run on that drive of 14 yards to get him really
right
deep
down to the 7-yard line. And the frustrating thing, if you're the Jaguars and Mel Tucker, yes, it's your second team, but a lot of these guys are going to make the 53-man roster, and you're going to need to contribute because there's injuries. There's a lot of things happen throughout the year. So guys like Kevin Rutland, a lot of people think he's got a great chance to make this roster. He's played very well. You're going to need him to play. You look at Julian Stanford. We haven't talked about him, the undrafted free agent. He's out there. So there's a number of young guys that they're going to need to play. So a little bit frustrating because the Giants have gone right down the field pretty easily.
You mentioned Mel Tucker, and of course he took the place of Jack Del Rio and coached the last portion of the season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could have gone to another team. The Vikings, I guess, was probably as much as any on his radar, and he decides to stay here after Mike Mularkey made him assistant head coach and defensive coordinator.
One of the great hires by Mike Mularkey. And you look at what Mel was able to do last year on defense on a team that really struggled offensively to be 6th rated, and he's one of the most respected coaches in the locker room. So I think it's a great hire. I think he's one of the up-and-coming coaches. I believe Mel Tucker will be a head coach
I do too.
In the next year or 2 in the NFL.
So the Jaguars tonight had a terrific-looking first drive from Mike Mularkey, and they got a 3-yard touchdown pass to Cecil Shorts III. Then Shorts fumbled. Next possession, Gabbert fumbled, and they punted, and we've seen 4 consecutive New York Giants scores, a 1-yard touchdown run by Ware, a 12-yard touchdown pass by Carr, and a 5-yard pass by Carr to Stanback.
For the first quarter, it was pretty dang exciting for the Jaguars.
Pretty good.
They were really looking good on both sides of the ball. since then, it's fallen apart a little bit. A lot of turnovers, some penalties that have really hurt him.
Chad Henne on 1st and 10. Looking for Thomas. That is incomplete at the 29-yard line.
And that's one of the things you've seen at camp that we talked about earlier. How do you compare Gabbert and Chad Henne? I think the accuracy of Gabbert has been better in training camp. He's been more precise. I think he has a bigger arm. With that said, I think Chad Henne's probably one of the better backups in this league. And he's a guy, if something were to happen to Blaine Gabbert, if there was an injury or something, you'd feel comfortable with Chad Henne coming in and leading your offense. But clearly, Blaine Gabbert is the guy, and you can see it in practice.
2nd down 10. Wobbly pass. That was brought in. Did Robisky get that 15-yard pickup after Henne was drilled?
Well, you're not. It doesn't look like it. They're going back, but there was really, again, none of the officials really came in and made a demonstrative call one way or another. That looks like a catch from that angle. He got his arms under it. We couldn't see the other side of it, but from that angle, I would say it's a catch. It would be interesting to see if Mike Mularkey throws the first challenge flag of the year as head coach for the Jaguars. Nope.
3rd and 10. Henne again. Hit. Brought down. Hendricks got him. Flag thrown. Looked like a face mask. These guys just grabbing at anything when they're going back there rushing at that quarterback. They're so cognizant of the hits. I mean, there's a lot. You think you just go in there and just play, but you've got to think so much too if you're going in on a quarterback.
Think about how small of an area that you can hit the quarterback in.
No.
You can't hit him above the shoulders, and you can't hit him below the knees. So it's about a
holding. Number 61 on the Jaguars.
Oh, how about
penalty
that?
has been declined.
DJ Hall.
4th down.
Another punt coming up.
Another undrafted rookie free agent. He's working at the left guard position, number 61 right there, and he gets bull rushed back and just gets bowled over by number 74, Dwayne Hendricks. And I didn't see the hold. If he would have held him, he would have fallen on top of him. Hendricks just kept on going right into Henne. But the officials called it one way or another. Didn't matter. They're going to decline it, and it's going to be a punt.
3-time Pac-12 first-team punter Brian Anger. Send this downfield. Jaron Hosky back there, rookie out of Virginia Tech, backpedaling to the 31-yard line. He's dancing around. Owens almost had him. And he works his way to midfield. The beginning field position for the Giants tonight, and flags are thrown. The beginning field position tonight for the New York Giants has been exceptional. They got a couple of turnovers on fumbles. They've got some nice returns on punts. Let's see what this flag is all about as again they discuss it on the field.
And as the officials sit there and talk, I really think these replacement officials are going to be a story this year. I just can't get away. I mean, because how many times have we seen tonight where there's a play on the field and we don't know what is going on because nobody comes in and does anything? Doesn't make a signal. Just let us know.
Holding, number 36 of the Giants. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down, Giants.
I never in my life, Kevin, thought I'd be sticking up for our officials, telling them that we need them.
And now
you see how valuable they are and how good they are.
Well, I've not criticized them tonight. I'm waiting. I got to wait until I see more what's going to. I think they will resolve this. These guys have been put in a very uncomfortable position.
And I don't want to be too hard on them because they're doing the best they can. Tough job.
And I think it's going to become patently clear what needs to be done. But as it stands right now, it's a little shaky. Eli Manning is out, and David Carr comes in for another series, and the draw play handoff goes to the workhorse now, Andre Brown. And he comes off the Giant practice squad. He picks up a yard right there. A timeout is taken because we're at the 2-minute warning. 1:56 to play. We've seen 4 consecutive scores by the New York Giants, who lead the Jaguars 24-7 late first half. There's a look at Blaine Gabbert. 2nd down and 9. From the 42, Carr looking for standback, and that's incomplete. Middleton was right there on him. Incomplete pass about the 42-yard line. We can sit here and talk about so many aspects of the team because it takes a team to win, and just ask the Giants that. But when you're kind of beginning from, a place of no substance, like the Jaguars
Start
are.
from scratch.
it's exactly what you begin with the quarterback. And so all eyes are on Gabbert and this Jacksonville offense. And that's the way it's probably going to be through a good portion of the season. Here's a 3rd and 9 for Carr, who got by Branch. The pocket is down, and down he goes. And nice rush.
That's what they need from this defensive front. That's what they need from Andre Branch. He didn't get the sack, but he caused the sack. Look at him come around the corner, forces David Carr up in the pocket, right into the hands of Terrence Knighton, and that's pure speed. Look at him bend that corner. You can't teach that. I mean, you either can move like that, you either are that explosive or you're not. Andre Branch has been gifted by God to rush the passer, and he is showing glimpses. Now, there needs to be more consistency, but he's showing glimpses of what this Jaguar team needs from him this year.
That number 90 there is kind of familiar, too, with a little bit of rush on
Tony
the defense.
Brackett,
Yes.
best pass rusher in the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
It would be nice if Andre Branch kind of starts falling in his footsteps and can bring that explosion back to the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we said that Gabbert is the guy that everyone's going to be watching. Bob Brakowski, the new offensive coordinator, says he's the most improved. A lot of people are going to be looking at his mechanics, thinking that that's going to be one of the things they're going to notice first about the change from last year to this. Weatherford kicks it to Mike Thomas, and the punt retrieved at the 19-yard line. And he sticks basically right about there. The guy that long snapped it, Zach Diossi, limits him to a gain of 1.
That's one of the things that we got more flags. I'm not sure what is going on.
Here's the first possession and some crisp throws. LaRon Robinson got one right there. And then they had Thomas with a 30-yard reception, and then Shorts from 3 with a nice catch in the corner.
Well, we felt good after that, didn't we?
Yeah.
You would have
More importantly, he felt good.
He felt good,
yeah.
and that's what you needed. It didn't go great after that. And we have a personal foul.
On the Giants, 15 yards to the end of the run. Jaguar ball, first down.
There was about 15 flags that came out on a 7-man crew, so I think they threw a couple from their pockets, but calling that personal foul. But back to Gabbert. And it didn't finish great, and his numbers don't look great. You know, so if you didn't see the game, 5 for 10, 62 yards and 1 touchdown, you say, typical Gabbert, struggling again. Not the case at all. Really, the only time that he missed passes where he's under pressure a couple times and then miscommunication with LaRon Robinson outside. The only thing I'll be critical of Blaine on is he fumbled the ball in the pocket on the sack. You can't fumble the ball if you're the quarterback. Outside of that, I think it was very positive for Blaine.
Jalen Parmley's in the backfield. In the gun, Henne. Thomas, first down, up to about the 49-yard line, and picks up 13 yards on the play. Good throw by Chad Henne. We told you before he's got a lot of starting experience. 31 starts for the Miami Dolphins, and working his way downfield. A couple timeouts remaining for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1st and 10 from their own 49. Henne again. Cecil Shorts. And he grabs it. Brought down by Justin Tryon. It's a gain of 6. Quickly they huddle again.
So you see a couple of the top receivers still in there with Chad Henne, the backup offensive line, backup running back, but Cecil Shorts who started. Mike Thomas still playing.
Henne from behind, hit. Hosky brings him down. 2-year starter at Virginia Tech, and a timeout taken by Jacksonville. Loss of 4 on the play, and they'll mark it back to the 47-yard line.
Worst thing that can happen in a 2-minute drive.
Loss of 4 yards.
Quarterback sack. Clock keeps running, loss of yardage. Jaguars forced to burn a timeout. The Giants came on a blitz from the nickel position, but really the pressure started from the outside. Chad Henne forced to step up right into the blitz.
And he started 4 games last year for Miami. Then he played a game in San Diego. He hurt his shoulder. He was done for the season. And, of course, that eventually led to him being let go.
Matt Moore came in and really took the job at the end. Even when Henne was healthy, he couldn't get back on the field.
And Tony Sperano was let go. They hire a new coach, Philbin from Green Bay, the offensive coordinator. They draft Ryan Tannehill out of Texas A&M. So, like in Jacksonville, a whole new feel for their team in Miami. 3rd down and incomplete.
And again, the Giants come on the blitz.
Trubisky was in the sights of Henne.
On the blitz, Chad Henne trying to get rid of the ball. It looked like he was trying to get Trubisky on the slant. And Trubisky got hung up inside and never fought across the face. Got caught up in the traffic, and that's where if you're a receiver, you got to get across the face of that defender because it's a timing route. The quarterback's going to let it fly. You can't get bounced around if you're a receiver outside.
4th and 6. With a timeout remaining, they need the 40-yard line. They stop that baby before it has a chance to get going.
Everyone pointing fingers.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I think it was Daniel Baldridge, the right tackle, number 76. He gets going a little bit early. Not sure why he's in a 3-point stance. 4th and 6. I think everyone in the ballpark knew you're throwing the ball. Help yourself out, get in a 2-point stance, make it easy. It's hard enough to block those guys.
He's 6'8". He should be in a 2-point stance.
He should be in a 2-point stance. He's a big boy. He makes me look small.
Almost as big as you.
No, he's much bigger. He has muscle.
Anger to punt. Again. Good hang time here. Hosky. Oh, he fumbled it, and look where it's grabbed at the 2. Bobbled the ball.
Kevin, you see how high that punt was?
He gave the Jaguar special teamers a chance to surround it and be in a position to get the ball, and grabbing it right there with the nice defensive play. Antoine Blake, who's out of Texas El Paso.
Everyone was critical. A lot of people were critical about taking Brian Anger in the 3rd round. But you ask anybody, and Mike Larkin talked about today in the meeting, the ball comes off different.
Yeah.
It's special. And I don't like talking about a kicker that much. I'm not one to give a punter accolades, but that ball was eye level with us up in the booth.
If that has no hang time, you don't have a guy in back of the punt returner ready to get that ball.
It's a very well executed play.
That was a terrific play. 32 seconds remaining. Giants are taking a quick timeout. They got to think this through here to see exactly how they're going to maneuver defensively. And Chad Henne will come over to the sidelines with a wonderful opportunity for his Jacksonville offense.
And everyone, talks about the preseason, what's important. We talked about a couple of the things that Mike Larkin wanted to focus on, being physical, execution. But he also said, hey, listen, every time I line up, I want to win. And so don't kid yourself for a second that winning is not important in the preseason, especially for a young team like the Jaguars, new coaching staff. Winning is contagious. You have to learn to win, and I think it's good for this organization. Push, to work hard, get 7 points, try to get some momentum so you can try to win this ball game in the second half.
So Parmley in the backfield. Rock Bowen is the offset eye. Potter is the tight end in motion. 1st and goal. Henne hit over the head of the intended receiver, Zach Potter. Boy, what a rush was coming in that time. Craig Marshall.
Craig Marshall was not fooled for 1 second by that play action.
He said, I'm going to come down on you like you can't believe. And he said, speed on the quarterback.
You can fake the handoff all you want. There's about 30 seconds left on the clock. I'm going to bet you're passing. And Chad Henne turned around, flipped his shoulders right after he faked the handoff, and Craig Marshall said, hello.
Well, Potter released him, so he's not going to be touched. He didn't even chip him.
It's a naked bootleg. They're hoping Marshall comes down. He never bought the fake.
2nd down and goal. Inside, Trubisky. That is a touchdown. 2-yard strike grabbed by Brian Trubisky.
And this time, he won across the face of the corner. We talked about earlier in the drive, he got bounced around a little bit, didn't get across the face of the defender. This time, a quick slant. He beats the defender, number 30, Justin Tyron, to the spot and just out-physicals him, out-positions him, almost like a basketball player boxing out the defender. And Chad Henne throws a very nice ball right in the breadbasket, a little bit low, so Trubisky could defend himself and block the defender from getting to the ball.
Well, a nice way to go into halftime for the Jaguars, although we do have 24 seconds remaining in the first half. Scobie, a much richer kicker now as he signed an extension, puts that one through.
Well, you know a kicker has done well in the offseason when he buys an Aston Martin.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, nice car. You know it was a successful time at home when you show back up and you have the Aston Martin.
Well, you know what? As a field goal kicker a season ago, he was 23 or 25. He was terrific.
One of the biggest legs in the league.
Absolutely, and he's worth it. And
they had the franchise tag.
And so you've got your special teams now are covered. You've got the kickoff guy, you've got the field goal guy, and you've got the punter for the future. So that's something now you just knock off your list.
Absolutely. The only thing that I think this team lacks in special teams right now is a big-time return.
Yes.
They don't have that game breaker. And you talk to the coaches, and they have some guys who are comfortable with it, can catch the ball, are going to be secure with it, and do the right thing. I'm not sure they have the home run threat yet. Yeah, that's key.
Trubisky, whose dad, Terry, is a longtime assistant coach in the NFL, was an interim head coach in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the Jaguars will kick off. Jernigan is in the end zone awaiting the kickoff from Scobie. And he'll watch this bounce out of the end zone. 24 seconds with which to work. He assumed David Carr, and indeed he will come back out on the field for the New York Giants. There's a look at Anger, who was a...
what a great name, too.
The highest a punter has been drafted in the NFL since 1995. So he's got, tonight, 3 punts.
That was my draft.
Averaging 49 yards back in 95. It sure was in the first year of this franchise.
Yeah, Todd Sauerbrand by the Chicago Bears picked Todd Sauerbrand. And Brian Anger, the first time in 17 years.
We're going to go and run out the clock, and that'll take this first half to its conclusion.
Stick it on Brian Anger. Great last name, especially if he was like a linebacker or something. Imagine being Anger. Punter, I don't know how you really play on that one as a punter, but still a good football man.
Oh, there'll be some smart broadcasters out there. They'll think of something. The problem is you're not working with a smart broadcaster. But somebody smarter than I will come up with some kind of fun with his name as the Jaguars and the Giants head to their respective locker rooms. Touchdown pass by the starter, Blaine Gabbert. Touchdown pass by Chad Henne. But 2 turnovers by the Jaguars. Giants cashing in. They lead by 10 at halftime here in Jacksonville.
Welcome back to Everbank Field here in Jacksonville, Florida. A beautiful night to open up the 2012 preseason. And let's take a look at some highlights from the first half that started so well for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert looking sharp early, finishing off a great first drive with a bullet to Cecil Shorts. After that, it kind of got sideways for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cecil Shorts on a nice run, but didn't finish the play. A fumble picked up by Justin Tuck, and after that, it was a lot of New York Giants. 4 straight scoring plays. The last one we saw was DJ Ware. And then another turnover, Jason Pierre-Paul, and it was David Carr hooking up in the end zone for another score after a 7-0 lead by the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was all New York Giants until this Brian Anger kick that led to a fumble. Great job of coverage by the Jacksonville Jaguars and a quick slant to Brian Robisky to make it 24-14 going into halftime. Some good things, a lot more, probably more bad things with turnovers, fumbles, some penalties. You can look at the first half stats, a lot of them favoring the New York Giants, but Kevin, I don't think that's the biggest story in the preseason, this first preseason game. I think it's how sharp Blaine Gabbert looked early, and when he had some time, he was on target.
I would agree. We'll talk about that as we go through this second half. Right now to the sideline, and Brent Martineau.
Mike Malarkey, you told us this morning that you wanted to be physical and you wanted to execute. What are your thoughts on the first half in those 2 categories?
Well, I think we've done both. There's been some good things that have happened out here. The negative things have really affected that first half. Obviously, 3 turnovers between the 2 teams and 3 touchdowns off of it. So we got to be better holding on to the football. That's the #1 priority. It's always talked about.
A lot of teaching opportunities off that first half, though?
Oh, a lot of teaching. A lot of good. There's a lot of good. And, I know the score doesn't reflect that, but there's a lot of things we're going to get better at from this game, no question.
Super first impression from Blaine Gabbert and the offense on that first drive. You had to be happy with that in his play.
I was proud of those guys. There's a lot of pressure on them. A lot of pressure on Blaine to come out there and go 90 yards, make some really good third down throws. Protection was good. I mean, it was very crisp. That was good. There is light right there that we can build off of, definitely.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks. Back up to you guys.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. There's a look at the first-round pick out of Oklahoma State, Justin Blackmon. And he will not play tonight, although suited up. He's had very limited contact in practice, if any.
And it's smart. Mike Mularkey being smart there and the staff. No reason. Plenty of time. 3 preseason games left to see what number 14, the first-round draft pick, 5th overall at Oklahoma State, 2-time Blitnikoff Award winner, dominating in college. And I know Jaguar fans are excited and hopeful that that same type of play and big play ability we saw in college will translate to the NFL, and we'll see a lot of big plays right here in Everbank Field.
Well, we're going to start this second half, and Lawrence Tynes will be kicking off to Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas had a couple great seasons, signed an extension that kind of disappeared as the season went on. And he is to the back line. He'll leave it in the end zone. And a flag, which means offsides against the New York Giants on that kickoff.
As we're waiting for the officials to get that, I was talking to some of the Jaguar pro personnel and some of the people trying to get a feel. And a comment was made in the press box that I think is pretty relevant. This might be the best front that this Jaguar team faces all year when you look at the New York Giants and what they can do rushing the passer.
Number 36 for the Giants was lined up in the back of the kicking line. Giants will re-kick.
Well, they've got Justin Tuck, Linval Joseph, Sean Rogers, Jason Pierre-Paul, Osi Umenyiora. They bring Kiwanuka sometimes in a three-point stance, but he's always coming off that edge.
I mean, this was a defensive front that terrorized the Patriots.
Absolutely.
Terrorized everybody in the playoffs. And if you look at early when it was ones against ones, there was some leakage. But overall, I think and I like what Mike Mularkey said, more positive than negative of how they hung in there, how they matched up and gave Blaine Gabbert some time. I think that's a good tool and a good teaching. The film would be a good teaching moment for this Jaguar offense.
Do you get the feeling now, Tony, in the NFL that if a team can stay relatively healthy and breathing by the time they hit December, like these Giants did a year ago, and they had some significant injuries, then all of a sudden guys come back, they get confidence, they buzzsaw through December, go right through the playoffs, they win on the road, including in Green Bay and in San Francisco, and then they win the Super Bowl.
It's if you're healthy and when you're healthy. And the Giants were healthy at the right time last year at the end of the season.
And that will be out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. And that went careening off the hands of a linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ryan Davis, who is a rookie out of Bethune-Cookman. And here comes the third quarterback for the Jags tonight, Jordan Palmer, the former Cincinnati Bengal quarterback, and of course the younger brother of Carson Palmer.
And it'll be interesting as we see Jordan Palmer come in as the third quarterback, how many quarterbacks the Jaguars actually keep. A lot of teams going to only 2.
Right.
And so this is an important time for Jordan to try to convince this Jaguar staff, say, hey, listen, I'll do enough to convince you to keep 3 guys this season.
And first down and 10, as they will stick to the ground and try to get a couple yards on the play. We saw Parmley in there in the first half late, and he begins the second half as the guy getting the hand.
And they like Jalen Parmley. He was with the Baltimore Ravens last year, let go, immediately picked up here in Jacksonville, and they feel like if Maurice Jones-Drew continues to hold out and Rashad Jennings needs to be the workhorse, their number 1 back, they're comfortable with Parmley being number 2.
Jordan Palmer played at Texas El Paso. Here comes Parmley once again. He's spent some time with the Baltimore Ravens. Originally a 6th-round pick by Miami, and he picks up 2 yards right there, and he nears the 20-yard line.
And going back to the conversation, we were talking about being healthy and healthy at the right time, and the Giants were absolutely in that situation.
Like Green Bay the year before. Green Bay, remember, they just kind of waddled around. They got to December, they took off, and like the Giants did a year ago, Green Bay 2 years ago did the same thing in the beat
So
Pittsburgh.
it's health. What's the other thing, Kevin, both those teams have? Quarterback. You got to be healthy, you got to have production out of the quarterback.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be critical for this Jacksonville Jaguar team. Being healthy, and we talked about Blaine Gabbert being productive.
Third down and 5, we'll call it. There's Jordan Palmer, who was with Bob Brakowski, the Jaguars, and there's a flag that'll stop the play. But he was with Bob Brakowski in Cincinnati, and Jordan is on this roster.
Number 5 on the Jaguars.
Jordan came out to a rookie free agent tryout, and he was kind of with a bunch of no-name guys.
No, he had 1 weekend
to
earn a job.
He's talking about pressure. 4 years, I know.
And he did enough to show them that he would be a guy who could come in to training camp, be another arm, and also a guy that can earn a job.
3rd down and 10. He's going to go deep this time. And looking for Thomas. What a catch. Jousting with Tryon. 35-yard pickup. And that is a Jacksonville first down. Terrific throw, but even a better catch by Thomas.
Great catch by Thomas, and I'm a little bit surprised that Mike Thomas still in the ball game in the 3rd quarter. We talked about how he had been struggling a little bit early in the camp. We saw him in the 1st quarter with the ones playing the slot receiver.
Yeah, and a 30-yard catch there.
30-yard catch there. Now we see him working outside as the outside receiver racing up the field and makes a great catch, and he's still going to stay in the ball game with this 3rd unit.
And some breathing space. Parmley dancing a bit. Not a lot of rushing room right there. Gain loses about a yard and brought down to the play by Spencer Piesinger, undrafted out of Oregon for the New York Giants, and back to the 49.
Another guy that was a starter tonight, still in the game, Cameron Bradfield. He was at right tackle. Overall, I think he played pretty well. Gave up some pressure on that first play of the game. Had to have some jitters going against Justin Tuck. Now he'll move to the left side. He's a guy that can play both sides, very athletic. Another undrafted free agent, a guy Gene Smith found from a small school last year.
2nd down 11. Short drop, and they go to Brock Bowen outside, incomplete. The coverage on the play by Stevie Brown. Bowen has been here a while, of course, 3 years out of Louisville. 35 new faces on this Jacksonville roster, too. So there is quite a turnaround.
And one of them we're looking at right there is Drew Nowak, who started training camp as a defensive lineman. There's some injuries at the offensive guard position. Mike Larkin goes, hey, how'd you like to play guard?
Yeah.
And you know what? He's come over.
He's played well.
And he's done a great job. He has a chance to make this ball club as an offensive guard.
3rd down and 11. 5 in the secondary for the New York Giants. Jaguars need the Giant 40. Nice evasion of the rush that time, and right on the money, that's Trubisky. First down reception. Great throw by Palmer. Spot him at the Giant 29, 22-yard pickup. Another Jacksonville first down.
And I think we're going to see the identity of this team, what they want to do offensively, slowly change through the preseason. You're going to see something completely different in the regular season. Last year, if you talk to anybody, Kevin, you would say, what do the Jaguars do? They hand it off right, they hand it off left, they hand it up the middle to Maurice Jones-Drew, and that's about it. This is going to be a team that's going to pass more than run.
First down and 10 from the 29-yard line of New York. Palmer in chase by Tracy. Hit across the way by Hendricks. And then spins his way out of bounds and loses about 3 yards on the play. We're early in this 3rd quarter. We've seen a touchdown pass to Shorts from the starter, Blaine Gabbert, and a 2-yard touchdown pass from Chad Henne to Trubisky.
If I was on the offensive line right now, I'd go grab Jordan Palmer by the face mask and say, what are you doing? Do you know there's a rule in the NFL? If you're outside the pocket, just throw it away? Yeah. What are you taking a 3-yard loss for?
Don't take a loss.
That goes against us on the offensive line as a sack.
2nd down, 13, now back to about the 32-yard line. In the gun, they set up the screen. Parmley, boy, played beautifully. Even on his backside, Adrian Tracy, a 6th-round pick out of William & Mary a season ago, only allows a 3-yard gain and back down to the 29-yard line. He was falling backwards, and he still broke up that play.
Yeah, they tried to get Mike Brewster, the undrafted free agent center out of Ohio State, who came in for the injured John Estes and continues to stay in there, and Drew Nowak, who we were just talking about, playing left guard. They tried to get both those guys out in front on the screen a little bit late and allowed some penetration, allowed the defense to split those 2 blocks and drop Jalen Parmalee right in his tracks.
3rd down and 10. And that is caught. Trubisky's 17-yard line, even though the Brohawk came in from the side with the big hit on the quarterback. 18-yard completion. So on this drive, which began at the 15-yard line, 30 yards through the air to Thomas, 29 to Trubisky, and a pickup right there through the air of 16 yards to the 18.
Yeah, some late pressure. Again, Cameron Bradfield needs to finish his block. And we're looking at the left side right there. Cameron Bradfield gets beat, but Drew Nowak, the converted offensive defensive lineman, looks like he's been doing it for 10 years. Great job pass blocking, giving Jordan just enough time.
Montel Owens He'll get the call. 7 years out of Maine, a 2-yard gain right there. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler because of what he does on special teams. As you take a look at the guy who's now playing on the, on the offensive line, Drew Nowak, Western Michigan. And, you know, there are a lot of stories like that in the NFL. Guys begin at one position, they move to another. You don't find a ton that go from one side of the ball to the other, but he may be breaking new ground here.
In 1 week.
Yeah, in 1 week's time.
He's only had a few reps, and he's out there doing a good job.
2nd down and 7. Owens cutting. And slicing his way down to the 13-yard line with a gain of 2. Clock approaching 9 minutes to play. And they end the first half, the Jaguars do, Tony, on a touchdown. They've got some momentum right here. And again, it's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th team guys. Nonetheless, you operate as a team, and the way your team goes, carries some momentum.
And this is important. So you see Montel Owens right here, who's your special teams ace. That's why he's on this ball club. But he's also a guy who can be your 3rd tailback as a single back and does a good job, good pass blocker, and has enough moves where you feel confident they can get you some yards.
3rd down and 5, flag is thrown. I think we had some movement. It may have been on Bradfield.
False start, number 78 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And it's been an up and down night for Bradfield. And this is big for him because he got a chance to start tonight. You can see him flinch right there. He got a chance to start at right tackle, moving Evan Britton inside. And I know they like him. They like what they've seen in practice so far. He was hurt the first week. He performed very well the second week. But these are reps that Bradfield needs. He didn't play a lot last year, and so he needs to get out there in game speed and work on his technique and get some stuff on film so Andy Heck, the coach, can correct it and he can get better for next week.
3rd down and 10. And that is caught. 6-yard line. Robisky, 1st down. Now the question was he touched?
And once again,
and
nobody really.
No signal being given. We're going to say, because our guys in the field are standing there, that he was touched and down at the 7. But Robisky comes up with another nice reception. That good for 12 yards.
And this is the best I've seen Jordan Bradfield throw the ball all training camp. Really sitting in there nice and tall, good footwork, and he's delivered strike after strike. Hits Robisky right between the numbers. Definitely was down. He was touched when he was on the ground. Officials need to be a little bit more aggressive getting in there and letting everyone know, but another nice pass by Jordan.
Jordan Palmer, 3rd quarterback tonight, 1st and goal. Owens, he's got a nice move, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. A 7-yard run by Montel Owens. That was a good-looking drive with some beautiful passing, some nice blocking, and some good cutting there by Owens to get to the house.
And this is what Montel Owens will give you. He's just shifty enough and has a little bit of power to run you over, getting into the end zone. When we talked about Drew Nowak, and look at this block. Great job of drive blocking.
It's terrific.
The defensive tackle down, creating a nice crease for Montel Owens to cut back and score a touchdown.
Josh Scobie will tack on another, making it a 3-point game with the Giants, who at one time led 24-7. Jaguars have scored on 2 consecutive possessions. 3-point game, 7.5 to play in the 3rd on the Jaguars Television Network. Well, we're back here at Everbank Field, and keep up to date with everything Jaguars at Jaguars.com Connect. Sign up for newsletters and stay connected with the Jags on Facebook, Twitter, and Jaguars.com. Montel Owens, 7-yard touchdown run. But on that drive, Jordan Palmer, a 30-yard pass to Mike Thomas. He hit Robisky for 29 yards, for 16 yards, and for 12 yards. Setting up the touchdown run. Nice little surge there by the Jaguars, who are down, like we said before, 24-7. Ensuing kickoff by Scobie. He back is Jernigan. He'll leave it right there, so back to the 20, and the Giants will have it 1st down and 10. So we'll see what the Giants do at quarterback. Looks like David Carr will come back out there after the Jaguars get a nice touchdown run by Owens. 24-21, the Super Bowl champion Giants have had their lead cut. Montel Owens capping off what was a beautiful drive, which began back at the Jaguar 15 and led by 3rd-string quarterback Jordan Palmer.
And Jordan Palmer looked outstanding. He really delivered the ball nicely. Hey, Kevin, are you a Twitter guy?
I've got an account, but I don't tweet
Twitter,
much.
I love Twitter.
I know you do.
And I love, you know what I love is you can get corrected during the game. Someone said I said Jordan Bradfield threw the ball.
But I came back and said Jordan Palmer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But as a partner, we're covering each other. Here's a first down and 10, and they run outside, and this is Andre Brown, who gets sideswiped down the play. George Selby was there, among others. It's a gain of 2 as the Giants get it for the first time here in the second half.
So Jordan Bradfield threw the touchdown, and Cameron Palmer blocked for him.
You know, it's preseason for everybody, right? It's preseason for the players, for the officials, and for the broadcasters.
The bottom line is, whatever Jordan threw the ball, it was an outstanding series by Jordan Palmer. And I said it during the series, it's the best, in all seriousness, he's looked in the preseason. Really did a nice job of commanding the offense.
David Carr, second down and 8. Oh, up the middle they come with a hand on him to Anthony Smith. Oh, it's good to see him because he has missed the last couple years with injuries. A former third-round pick. It's a loss of 7 back to the 17.
And you said it perfectly. It's good to see him, and you can see the quickness right there off the ball. And that's the one thing he brings. I think nobody else at the defensive tackle position brings, and that's a little bit of shake and quickness off the ball. But there's a lot of big guys. You think of Terrence Knight and C.J. Mosley, even Tyson Alualu, great run stuffers, big physical, tough guys. Anthony Smith is a change of pace, get up the field, 3 technique.
I thought you were going to say shake and bake like in Talladega Nights, but that'd be fine. You know, had you said that, one of my favorite movies, and those shake and bake
That's
moves.
a good movie. Most Will Ferrell movies are, though.
Yeah. I saw Step Brothers for the first time the other night. That's a funny movie.
False start. Number 71 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still, 3rd down.
You know, I'm not a Floridian, so I'm going to. Where is Talladega from here?
Talladega is in Alabama.
Right.
So Alabama would be due west.
Are we talking?
I think
10-hour drive.
Birmingham's a 9-hour drive
from here.
Yes.
Okay.
I have no idea where Talladega is in reference to Birmingham. So let's say 9 to 10 hours.
Right. I was going to say if that would be a car trip for people, and obviously it would
absolutely.
be. Yeah,
big NASCAR, big NASCAR car area right here.
And that, Tony, that's
why we're working together.
3rd and 18. Carr dumps it off. Brown. He was stuck pretty good across the way by Antonio Denard, the rookie free agent out of Langston. 5-yard catch and run. He wasn't invited to the combine. His dad played in the NFL with the Raiders and these New York Giants. His dad's name was Johnny Harrison. So 16, Antonio Denard with the play, and so now we get a punt coming up for the New York Giants.
Great pursuit by that defense led by Denard, and he's a guy who's flashed during training camp. Talent. I even saw him returning some kicks earlier in camp, so he's going to have to do a lot to make this ball club and probably something on special teams.
Mike Brown is deep back, and he is out of Liberty, a rookie free agent. Puts his nose right into the oncoming New York Giants. 7-yard run. Well, DeAnthony Smith with a nice play. Got his hands on Carr, makes the stack, stops that Giant drive. You're watching the Jaguars Television Network. Well, we're back here in Jacksonville at Everbank Field, and we'd like to say hello to some of our great affiliates, especially the flagship of the Jaguar Television Network, CBS 47, here in Jacksonville. Also now the #1 station in Orlando, Channel 9, WFTV. We're in Charleston, South Carolina, Albany, Georgia, Mobile, Alabama, the Pensacola, Florida. We're just talking about Alabama, Panama City, Dothan, Alabama, Savannah, Gainesville, and the capital of Florida, Tallahassee. So it's become one of the biggest television networks in the NFL in preseason football. It's a 1st and 10 handoff. Montel Owens, who ran for a touchdown the last time he touched it. Martin Parker out of Richmond brings him down. It's a gain of 7. And on that 1st and 10, he's up to the 43.
When you talk about the affiliates, and one of the things this offseason we did here in Jacksonville, we had our first ever caravan with the goal of really regionalizing this ball club in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Went all the way up to Savannah, Valdosta, Brunswick, down as far as South Daytona, over to Gainesville. It was an outstanding caravan and great fan support. You should have seen the turnout. People really excited about this ball club and what's going on.
2nd down, 3 end around. Kevin Elliott running to the near side, and he's a rookie free agent out of Florida A&M. And here's a good story about Kevin Elliott.
I was just going to say, he has a lot of pressure on him.
He's got a little connection to the Jaguars. He dates the younger sister of Fred Taylor.
One of the greatest Jaguars ever.
Absolutely.
Part of this organization. So Kevin Elliott. And Fred's here tonight. He spent the week shadowing Gene Smith and the scouts up here in camp. He's sitting right down up in the press box watching and finishing up the week up here. And Fred's a guy who knows a lot of football and wants to be involved in the Jaguars in the future. And I'm sure he's enjoying watching his little sister's boyfriend on the field.
Yeah. He called him sir, he said, the first time. There was a 1st and 10 handoff to Owens, and there was little movement there, maybe a gain of 2 on the play, but there is some pressure when you are dating
the all-time Jaguar leading rusher.
Yeah, how about that? His little sister.
But I'll tell you something about Kevin Elliott. From FAMU, just up Highway 10 in Tallahassee. Sure. This is a guy who, right now, I think makes this ball club great special teams player. He is so tough, so physical, and he's doing an outstanding job as a receiver in training camp as well. 2nd
down 9. Jordan Palmer, incomplete. Searching across the middle. There wasn't a whole lot there. And you're looking for Taylor Price, and that's a former 3rd-round pick by the New England Patriots. He played a couple games last season for the Jaguars. Incomplete.
And you look at this receiver position last year. We talked about in the opening. You said it was shallow last year, and I said you were being kind. Really struggled at that position, but they have added some nice pieces, leading with LaRon Robinson, then the draft pick in Justin Blackman. But you look, some of these other guys, Robisky, who came in late last year, Price, and now Kevin Elliott as well, are all going to be fighting for jobs.
3rd and 9, they go underneath. This is the tight end, Hunter, a former New York Jet, undrafted. Yeah, with the Jets, picks up 4, but not enough for the 1st down. So they're going to have to punt the ball. But you know what? Now in Jacksonville, that's kind of fun because they got Brian Anger out there, and we've enjoyed him so far. A 49-yard plus average in the first half, and they'll punt here for the Jaguars on their second half possession.
And not only how far he kicks it, but how high the ball is. It's almost eye level with us, and we're at the top of the stadium.
Well, it gives the chance for these gunners to get downfield, and let's get a little hang time on it. They're caught by Jarrell Jernigan out of Troy. 37-yard punt, timeout taken, 2:33 to play in the 3rd preseason game number 1.
Back to Everbank Field, 24-21. The Giants lead the Jaguars with 2.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter here on the Jaguars television network. Right, this guy, Aaron Ross, what a week this guy has had. He was in London last week to watch his wife, Sonia Richards-Ross, run in the Olympics, and she wins the gold medal while you were there. We have to go there before we even go football. How was that?
I mean, it was a lifetime experience. You can't really explain it. You see all the hard work that she put in and the blood, sweat, and tears that she put in year after year, and to finally see her accomplish a lifetime dream, I mean, it is no better feeling for as a husband.
Talk about being welcomed to an organization. They came into Everbank Field and watched that race as a team while you were in London last week. That must have been pretty heartwarming.
I mean, it was special. She actually cried when they sent her the video and showed the team out there supporting her. Coach Malarkey, man, you really you see the family atmosphere that he's bringing here, the winning attitude, and I think it's going to carry us a really long way.
Well, let's talk about some football. How do you feel back there in that defensive backfield? You have a lot of depth now with Rasheed Mathis healthy, and hopefully Derek Cox. He got banged up tonight, but he's a good one too.
Yeah, I think you need that nowadays. The league is becoming a passing league, so 3 or 4 good corners, you really need that. So. It's going to be a good situation. We're really deep in the secondary. The defense is playing really well. Coach Tuck, he has a defense hype. I mean, the coaches are excited here. Everybody ready to win. Man, it's an exciting feeling right now.
2 Super Bowl rings, playing against his former team tonight. He was named the captain tonight, came out here last, and his wife sent him a message on the video board too. They've got all sorts of surprises for you.
Oh yeah, it was special, man. It seemed like they really welcomed me here. The fans really accepted me and my wife. Of course, the players and coaches. So I'm happy to be a Jag, really, really happy.
What a neat story. Aaron Ross, thanks for joining us. First-class organization, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by the way, Sonia and Aaron are going to star in a reality show, guys, upcoming. It just doesn't stop. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. And coming up the middle and stuffing that play, Jarris Pendleton, the rookie out of Ashland. who throws Wilson for a 5-yard loss. And during that interview, which was terrific, by the way, and what a wonderful story in every regard, Ruben Randall caught one for 20, and then a 27-yard run by David Wilson, the rookie and the first-round pick out of Virginia Tech. That 400-meter run by Sonia was just so thrilling to watch.
And especially when you have a connection to her. Being a Jaguar fan, Aaron Ross on part of the organization, I've never met Sonia, but boy, I was excited watching my living room as she ran for gold.
Incomplete on that second down and 15. Now, Ross comes with some pretty nice credentials. He has started both Super Bowls for the New York Giants, including last year in Indianapolis and the win over Brady and the New England Patriots. He played 5 years with them. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
First rounder out of Texas.
Absolutely. So if nothing else, just him with that kind of pedigree brings just a little bit more credibility. And now Mathis obviously is the guy, but this guy is going to be, in terms of leadership, just out of the park.
Well, and he said something in this passing lead today. You need as many corners as you can.
Yeah,
at least 3, and he brings he's a great third corner, and he can be the number 2 guy if there's ever an injury. I was shocked, Kevin,
because the other guy will be the nickel. Correct?
Absolutely,
Ross or Mathis will be the nickel.
Absolutely, okay. He can move him inside. I was shocked that New York let Aaron Ross get away, because I thought he was at least their 3rd best corner and played significant time, was a huge impact on those Super Bowl teams. I was surprised it was free, and I think it was a great job by Gene Smith and his staff to go out and get a player of the caliber of Aaron Ross.
2 words: salary cap.
That's exactly right.
Here's Weatherford's punt. His car misfired moments ago, and that one will ricochet into the end zone and a touchback to the 20.
Salary cap, but also the New York Giants chose to sign Terrell Thomas, who ended up hurting his knee again.
Exactly.
I wonder if they could go back and do it over again. Would they keep Aaron Ross?
Wouldn't we all? Okay, that will end the 3rd quarter, and the Jaguars have come to within 3 of the Giants at the end of 3 on the television network of Jacksonville. We go to the 4th, and that is our score. Giants on top by 3 for a limited time only. Jaguar 5-game half-season packs are now on sale. Choose the games you want to see with multiple game options available, all starting at $40 per game. Call 904-633-2000 or visit Jaguars.com and get your half pack today. The learning never stops for a young quarterback, and Malarkey and Gabbard having a running conversation on the sideline.
And I like seeing Gabbard right next to him, right on his coach's hip.
Little 1st and 10 pitch out there. It was a gain of 3, and the ball carrier was DeJuan Harris. He's out of Troy. He was on the practice squad a season ago for 13 weeks for this Jaguar organization.
And this is important for all these down the roster guys right now, because, Kevin, as a veteran, you always tell the young guys, listen, you're not only fighting for a job on this team, there's 31 other teams that are going to look at the film, and you're fighting for a job on every one of those teams as well.
2nd down and 7. Jordan Palmer, the 3rd Jaguar quarterback tonight. They go to the undrafted Harris. He works over the left side, tries to find some room with Maurice Jones-Drew not here. It is giving a little bit more light on some of these players that normally wouldn't see a lot of touches.
Well, what it makes you realize is you have to look at the depth at the running back position. You feel very comfortable with Rashad Jennings, and I think what he showed us tonight and what he has shown throughout camp is this is a guy who can be the workhorse if you need him. After that, you have Jalen Parmalee, who they're high on, but then you have Montel Owens, and it's really a wide open race to maybe fill that last running back position.
Palmer on the run, 3rd and 1. Oh, and he got tripped up. Nice play defensively by Craig Marshall out of South Florida. Followed it well. Originally an undrafted kid who's trying to make this team. 8-yard loss. Another punt coming up for Jacksonville.
And again, this is going to be a teaching moment for all the quarterbacks when they turn on the film tomorrow. If you're outside the pocket and you're on the run, as soon as you break the tackle box, you can throw the ball away, and there's absolutely no intentional grounding as long as it gets across the line of scrimmage. Again, another sack that did not need to be taken. Not a big deal because it was 3rd down, you're going to punt anyways, but something I think that you can communicate to all the quarterbacks in the room.
Anger to Jernigan to the 45. 9-yard return. Rashad Jennings, his night is finished, but he was impressive while he was in, and we've got a timeout and 12:54 in the 4th. Mike Mularkey, who said they didn't try to borrow a lot from other organizations. He said he and his staff got together and they created the sayings and the culture and the feeling and the rhythm that they want in this organization. Kind of just a brain session that produced a lot of great thought.
And at the same time, you really can see where Mike Mularkey's been. He said Chuck Noll was a huge influence with the physical, tough practices, and you've seen that in training camp with this Jaguar team.
Perilou is the new quarterback, and the pitch out will go to David Wilson. This kid is a blur. First round pick out of Virginia Tech. He's the number 8 all-time Hokie running back, and they are trying to improve the running game. The Giants are, and he's going to be at the very forethought of that effort. 17-yard run around the end and a first down to the Jacksonville 39.
And some more missed tackles on that play, and we've seen that on both sides of the ball by both defenses. And again, we've talked about that with limited training camp, no more two-a-days, only coming in 2 weeks before the first game. You don't get a lot of opportunities to go live and work on tackling, which makes these preseason games even more critical than in the past.
Ryan Perilou began at LSU, finished up at Jacksonville State. And there's a good tackle inside and a loss of a yard. A couple guys in there for the Jaguars. As you take a look at Perilou, who he came out of high school, if I'm not mistaken, was the number 1 rated high school quarterback in the country.
Went to LSU and didn't work out there, and then finished his college career at Jacksonville State. And if you listen to people up in New York and some of the murmurs going around here today, there's a battle for the backup quarterback, and Ryan Perilou has a chance to earn that job.
Second down and 11. That was deflected as he was going outside and looking for Martinek, who's a rookie out of Rutgers. He was signed and released from the New York Giants practice squad last season 13 times. I'm
that
sure
hurts.
He felt like a yo-yo.
That hurts almost as much as getting hit by Jarius Pendleton like he did on that play.
Yeah.
And Jarius Pendleton, another one of the draft picks. The last 2 plays, the last one was made by Brandon Marshall, a draft pick out of Nevada. That one by Jarius Pendleton, who has one of the best stories, I think, in the NFL. He's a 28-year-old rookie and had to go work out of high school before he could go to college. A lot of perseverance got him on the field tonight.
Perilou brought down from behind. More pressure coming up. Was that Aaron Morgan? A loss of 5 on the play. It was the third-year player from Louisiana Monroe.
Very important training camp for Aaron Morgan. The first 2 years of his NFL career, really flashed and had great practices, but then couldn't do it in the games. And he would disappear once you got into preseason and going against other teams. And talking to people, they really feel like he can be a pass rush specialist, but they want to see it in game situations. Great rush, good speed move by Aaron Morgan.
Rutherford to punt. There's a fumble by Mike Brown. We've seen miscues on both sides.
And there's a flag down as well on the Jaguar sideline about the 18-yard line, which might nullify that fumble if it's on the New York Giants, but usually it's against the return team, which would be Jacksonville.
Giants say they got the ball, and they feel the penalties against the Jaguars, and so we'll wait for the call with 11:06 to play here in the fourth quarter. You know, we were talking before, actually off the air during halftime, about the officials, and sometimes you don't realize the 7-man crew that is out there every Sunday that you watch, or Monday night, or whenever it is. Is that just ricocheted right off his hands?
Just bad position.
That there is such teamwork involved in positioning to see the play that these guys don't have.
Number 37 on the Jaguars. Hit a man out of bounds. 15-yard penalty will be added on. First down, Giants.
These guys are coming from all parts of the map.
Well, not only that, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the college game, it's a 6-man crew.
Yes.
And all these guys are college officials, and so not only are they all from all over the place and don't work together a lot, now they go from a 6-man crew to a 7-man crew, and it's just out of sync.
I'm going to check that 6-man crew because I think you're correct on that. We'll take a break. Giants deep in Jaguar territory on the Jaguar Television Network.
The Giants are looking to build on their 3-point lead with just over 11 minutes to play here in Jacksonville. And Carl, The importance of this drive, the Giants are getting golden field position. You don't want to come away with 3 or none for that matter. Got to punch it in.
Yeah, that's the key here. When you get great field position like this, you want to try to get it in on your first 2 plays. Let's see if they can get it done.
Perry Lou over center. Looks to the left corner of the end zone, and Ruben Randall comes down with it for a touchdown. The second-round pick from LSU climbs the stairs, and he's got the Giants on top, 30-21.
Yeah, very good throw here by Perry. Back shoulder throw and great body control by Randall. He catches the ball at its highest point and keeps it away from the defender.
It's a 6-yard scoring strike.
He's got good ball skills, this Ruben Randall. Knows how to catch the football. Coming from the SEC, they play pretty good football out there.
Working against defensive back Mike Harris. Here is Tynes out of the hold by Weatherford. The extra point is good, and the Giants are on top 31-21. 3 Jaguars turnovers, 3 Giants touchdowns. Let's go down to the field where Howard Cross is standing by, and his comments are sponsored by the New York Lottery.
Guys, you gotta love what Ruben Randall does there. He does a great thing, almost like a basketball player, putting the defender on his back, then turning around and jumping to the highest point. He's doing the thing that they actually drafted him to do. He's a big-bodied guy, using that big body to shield off a defender, much smaller, and then going up and getting the ball at the highest point. That's a great play, making Perilou's job easy. He'll be looking for him in other preseason games, you bet.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's a good throw by Perry too, but boy, Randall did show great ball skills there. Now, you talk about the red zone, or as Coach Coughlin likes to call it, the green zone. They hit pay dirt. 5 times they're down there, 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. That's execution.
And that's all Randall has done up in Albany, fellas. The guy finds a way to come down with the ball. I've seen him only drop maybe 1 or 2 passes throughout the course of training camp. He makes catches in traffic. He reaches up to make catches, makes catches on the fly. Well, it doesn't really matter because that guy's not making a team, Mike Harris.
Who did he catch it on?
Yeah, Mike Harris.
Mike Harris, where do you go to school?
Right now, I'm not sure.
Okay,
let me take a look. Let me take a look at that, Mr. Banks. I'll tell you one thing, though, okay? Ruben Randall has skills. We can all agree on that.
No. I'm saying that a little tongue-in-cheek now. He's going to continue to improve. That's why they put him on the roster.
All right, there you go. Here's Mike Brown off of the Lawrence Tide kickoff out near the 25. How dare you test me with the courage of a 4th stringer of the Jaguars.
Let me just say that, it's what old coach used to tell me, don't put him in Canton yet. He's not playing against the 1st string yet.
I will tell you this, though. He's been hanging out a lot with Akeem Nicks at camp, trying to soak up whatever he can from the veteran.
He's a big, physical guy with great ball skills. I'm only saying that it's not a knock on the young man because I know he can play. He wouldn't be on this roster. He just has to continue to do it consistently. That's what it really comes down to.
Got to do it in games, as the coach says.
Well, he did it in this one.
Palmer back to throw. Play action pass. Has Robisky for a 1st down out across the 40-yard line. 18 yards on the pass play. Robisky in his 4th year out of Ohio State. Dante Hughes on the tackle. 10.5 minutes to play in this one. The Giants lead the Jaguars 31-21. Paul Dottino, Carl Banks, and Howard Cross with you in the Giants 2012 preseason opener. Glad you could join us here on My 9. DeJuan Harris. Oh, he's got the fake. And Robisky catches the pass along the right side for a gain of about 1. Now, if you're the New York Giants, you have one heck of a task as you go through the first 8 games of your schedule, don't you, Carl?
Well, yeah, you got to look at it that way, or as their opponents look, they've got some tough games coming up against the Giants as well. It is a tough trip because even with the scheduling, they've got, 3 games in 12 days, I believe it is.
Well, the bottom line is, Carl, as Tom Coughlin likes to say, you got to play who's in front of you.
That's right.
Can't control the schedule. The league tells you who to play. You just got to go out there and get the job done. 2nd down and 8, and the pass is batted down. Incomplete. Let's see who got that one. Marcus Kuhn, rookie defensive tackle. Colorful guy out of Germany.
Yeah, now this is what they teach again. You get penetration as far as you can, and then you get your hands up. That's what he did. He pushed to a stalemate, got the hands up close enough to the quarterback to knock the ball down.
7th-round pick from NC State. Didn't start playing football until he was 15 years old. A little bit late, huh, Carl?
Well, nowadays it may not. He may have been busy with soccer over there in Germany, you know. They play a different football over there.
They sure do. How about that sack? The 6th sack of the day for the New York Football Giants. Matt Broha. Not a lot of room for linebackers on this team, but that's good news for him anyway, isn't it, Carl?
Well, yeah, he's showing up on film. You never know what happens. That's a really good move, 2 good moves there, and he accelerates to the quarterback. That'll catch the coach's attention.
So it is 4th and 20. Jernigan to get the punt from Anger. He will backpedal. That is a high, booming kick. And Jernigan has trouble handling the football. And it looks like the Jaguars have recovered inside the Giants' 10. So Hosley and Jernigan have both muffed punts tonight. It's a 56-yard grab. And somewhere Dominic Hickson with the sure hands on punt returns has to be shaking his head.
Well, here it is. It's a function of catching Rutherford's punts all training camp. Now you're catching punts off of a different foot, a different spin, a different environment. You've been in Albany. Now you're down south. Humidity, the balls move, the lights move. He fundamentally drops his head. That's why he misses the ball. But all of these things come into play.
Antoine Blake with the recovery. 2nd Giants turnover of the night. We'll see if the Jaguars can convert this one into a touchdown like they did on the first. DeJuan Harris up the middle finds a hole, and then it closes quickly. That's only a 4-yard pickup.
Yep. Darrell Jernigan, he makes a mistake here now. He didn't misjudge the ball. He took his eye off of it and started looking for where the tackler was. You've got to secure that ball before you identify where the biggest threat is.
Chris Horton in on the hit. 2nd down and goal just outside the Giants' 5. First look again at middle linebacker calling those signals. Harris, jitterbug move, has some room. Penalty flags on the play as the ball pops free, and the Giants say they've got it. And this is going to take a while to unpile that mass of humanity. Jerry Hughes and company are going to have to figure this one out. They say it is Jacksonville football.
Yep.
It is number 60, Mike Brewster, who came up with it.
As Tom Coughlin charts the plays and makes a note to bring up in a meeting.
Holding, number 72 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Holding on Lee Barbays, offensive lineman for the Jags.
Let's take a look at the muff here. Here's Hosley. He's fair catching it. No one should be in this arc. No one was. Took his eye off the ball. Fumble. Here's Jernigan. Keep a look at him. He just takes his eyes off the ball. Costly penalties in the red zone.
2nd and goal from the 15. Jordan Palmer back to pass. That's a screen for DeJuan Harris. And the Giants converge quickly. Nice job by the defense there, Carl.
Yeah, it really was. They read the screen and they got more than one guy to the ball. They got a player down here.
Spencer Pasinger on the tackle. Only a 4-yard gain. And that looks like it may be a defensive lineman. Martin Parker, number 79, I believe. Indeed it is. We'll be back with more after this.
31-21, the injured player walked off under his own power. Giants on top by 10, but they've just muffed a punt, which was recovered by Jacksonville for the 2nd time, and now they're at the 11-yard line where they got a 3rd and goal.
We were talking about officials earlier.
Number in college
football. I said I thought there were 6. I thought I read a report, asked everyone out there, and they're saying Division I at least is 7, much like the NFL. Now some of these guys come from Division II and Division III. Not sure how many officials they use, But nonetheless, your point even more relevant. They come from all over the place and never work together, so they're not in sync right now.
Grabisky was out of bounds when he caught the ball, or they keep your helmet on. That's a penalty right there. And the guy didn't throw the flag. You got to keep your helmet on, and he didn't keep his helmet on.
And it's big they ruled it no touchdown. If they had ruled it a touchdown, they would have reviewed it automatically as a scoring play.
Well,
with no touchdown, Kevin, I don't think they automatically review that, so Mike Mularkey's going to have to throw the flag if he wants it reviewed.
I think his feet were, I think he caught the ball, but I think his feet, I can't tell. We're watching a couple replays here.
We'll look at it one more time here.
Watch where his knees hit. Watch where his feet are. Feet are in. No.
But if a knee gets down, one knee counts as 2 feet.
And so does your backside.
You're exactly right.
And so does your backside. So the challenge.
But his backside for sure didn't get down.
Or his front side. Anyway, I know right now we're going to take a break on this side on the Jaguar Television Network. The challenge flag has been thrown out there by Mike Mularkey. And let's watch it again. Did he catch it? Were his feet in? I think
the knees in.
Left foot was out of bounds when he touched the ball.
That was it.
Jaguars, 4th down.
That was the ruling. And so they'll try for a field goal. Tom Coughlin, you told me
I think that was a good review by Mike Mularkey. Though.
Sure, oh, absolutely.
I think it's the right call in that situation. 4th quarter, you only get a couple challenges. You don't get any points for putting those in your pocket and bringing them home with you, so I like that call.
You were telling me the other day on the phone, Tony, that Mike is more than just a coach. He's almost had to become like an ambassador for the NFL and for this organization, stepping maybe outside just the coaching title that he has.
And he's taking on a great leadership role here in this building and really has set the culture and the atmosphere about how you're going to do things. And Paul Posluszny talked about that, how they're going to set traditions and how things are done as a Jaguar, and that's all done with the leadership of Mike Mularkey.
29-yard field goal right there by Josh Scobie, who only missed 2 in 25 tries a season ago. A little smile on the face there for Mike. We're going to take a break. 31-24 Giants on the Jaguar Television Network.
If you're joining us late, folks, the Giants got 2 first-half touchdown passes out of David Carr. Nice touchdown catch by Ruben Randall here in the second half, among the other highlights. And it's a 31-24 Giants lead.
And I'll tell you, when you look at some of the positives of this game, and you'll see the contributions of Wilson, you'll see the contributions of Randall. But one area that stands out, Giants are batting 100% in the red zone. 5 times, 4 TDs, and 1 field goal.
Isaiah Stanback, you saw him moments ago there on the special teams unit, had a one-handed stab in the end zone that is going to catch the eye of Coach Tom Coughlin.
Absolutely. That's what they look for. What guys stood out? What were the standout plays? Now he's going to have to stand out here in special teams too.
Scobie to kick it off. Jarrell Jernigan midway deep through his own end zone. He fields this one cleanly and will stay there for the touchback. So it's 7:19 to go. Ryan Perrilloux will come out and operate from his own 20, and the Giants leading by 7. David Wilson still in the game, the Giants' first-round draft pick. You'll notice number 15 at wide receiver for the Giants, staying in there after that special teams return, is Dan DePalma. Interesting player out of Verona, New Jersey, lives 20 minutes from Giants Stadium. On the Jets and Giants practice squad over the last year out of Westchester College. A very interesting player. He's caught a lot of eye of people in practice. Wilson turns on the Jets and gains 6 around the left side. Looks like one of the Giants may have been shaken up. Good day so far for the Giants draft picks, Carl.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you look at the contributions these young men made in this game, you can tell they're on the right track. As you look at David Wilson, boy, you know, and I'm a stickler for some of the little things that'll make him a better back, but you cannot question this young man's quickness and his speed. And the other things, just keep in mind, this is his first real pro action So he'll learn how not to take negative plays, how to turn, a zero gain into a 1 yard gain, not taking big losses.
Well, he didn't get a loss there, but that one is for 0 yards.
And look, running backs don't do it all on their own either.
No, they don't.
There are 5 guys up front that's got to open up a hole for them.
By the way, Brandon Mosley, the 4th-round pick out of Auburn, was shaken up a couple of plays ago. He is still in the ball game, so that's good news for the Giants.
Yep.
He's in right there, number 67. Also, McCants in the game, another one of the Giants' young players. Matt was a 6th-round pick out of Alabama Birmingham. He's in there at left tackle. Number 61 is Chris White, an unrestricted free agent the Giants signed by way of the Seahawks. Perilou getting pressure, penalty marker on the play. That's probably going to be offensive holding, and Perilou runs for the first down and then gets the bad news that it's probably going to come back.
Yeah, it was a lot of bodies around him, and they dropped the laundry right where he escaped. So here you go, 1 play for 7 yards, and everything else has been negative thus far in this drive. First play from scrimmage, Wilson breaks a 7-yarder and makes it look easy.
Number 67 on the Giants. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's on rookie Brandon Mosley. So that will march the Giants backwards. That is their 7th penalty for 55 yards tonight. Get a look at Mosley on the sideline, who apparently has now indeed been shaken up and has had to come out of the game. Jim Cordell, number 63, back in there for New York.
Now here's the key here. Get a first down, but don't throw an interception if it's in peril.
Perilou back to throw. Hits Wilson on the screen. Wilson lined up wide that time. Bounces off a couple of tacklers and gets out near the 20. For a gain of about 9, maybe 10, but it will be 4th down long. The Giants will be forced to bring on Steve Weatherford once again.
Another thing that Wilson just showed that he can catch the football too. That's one of the things Coach Coughlin talked about, is his catching the ball out of the backfield. They lined him up there and was able to make good use of it.
Had some dropsies at training camp so far, Carl.
Well, and when the lights come on, he hadn't had one yet, so.
Mike Brown to return Weatherford's punt. He muffs the ball. Did somebody put butter on that thing tonight?
Bright lights.
Penalty marker on the play. The officials said that the Jaguars have recovered.
They did.
It was picked up by Brown himself after a 45-yard punt. And with 4:47 to go, the Jaguars trail 31-24, but they've got the football.
That ball was up for grabs. Somebody should have taken that one.
If you're joining us late, the Giants had a 24-14 lead at the half. Tom Coughlin just shakes his head and says, "Oh man, we've had some really crazy penalties here."
He says interference with the catch.
Well, I'd like to see that one again.
Kick catch interference on the Giants, on the gunner. Added to the end. First down.
On the gunner. See, now Tom Coughlin didn't even get a uniform number on that one. No wonder he's so disgusted.
Boy, it looks like it. Well, we'd have to take another look if we have a chance, but.
We'll see if the Giants can hold on after these words. New York Giants preseason football is brought to you by MetLife. I can do this. action is Jacksonville on their first down play immediately go to the ground, and Keith Tostin, who rumbles into Giants territory after a gain of 31 yards.
Well, he toasted a lot of guys on that one now.
They said the penalty was on Jansen Jackson, by the way, Carl, and they identified him as the Giants' gunner.
Well, we didn't have an opportunity to take another look at it, but this one is where when you've got guys on the field, Spencer Pesinger and Greg Jones, and you're giving up runs of 31 yards, there's something breaking down up front.
First down at the Giants 32. Tostin with a jitterbug move and then falls forward inside the 30. Gain of about 2.5.
Will Hill.
Greg Jones was also in on that hit.
Yeah. Boy, the measurables on Hill are pretty impressive in that he's a high school standout in 3 different sports, 3 different positions on the football field. 6'2", 200 plus pounds, good range, good speed. Be interesting to see if he completes his transformation.
And there's Tostin falling forward for 4. Looked like Pesinger had the hit. And we're going to call it 3rd down and about 4. Coming up on 3 minutes to play in the game, and the Giants lead by 7. Tom Coughlin looking on, wondering if this defense, full of reserves, can hold on to the lead. Palmer out of the gun. Here comes the blitz, penalty flag, and the pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage, and a late penalty marker as Palmer is drilled.
It's going to be on the left cornerback. Jumped across the line of scrimmage for the jam.
Here's Jerry Hughes, the referee, to give us the penalty.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Offside, number 48 on the Giants. That penalty will be refused. Personal foul, face mask, number 71 on the Giants. That penalty will be enforced. Automatic, first down.
New York Giants preseason football is brought to you by MetLife. I can do this. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New York Giants. Number 71, Adewale Ajomo, picking up the penalty as he was the one who crushed Palmer on the play and was called for the face mask. 1st and 10 at the Giants 13. The Jags are down by 7 with 2:41 to play. Looks like some confusion on the Giants defense, and then Palmer himself got confused, and there's a penalty marker back at the Giants 35. And it seems like, oh, let's see.
There's a flag in the middle of the
Shut
field.
the play down because we left a flag on the play. We'll reset the 25-second clock. The clock was not running.
We shut the play down because we didn't pick up our dirty laundry. That's an interesting one.
When I was a kid, my mom told me that all the time, but I never did it in front of 62,000 people.
They stopped the play because there was a yell. Well, there's a first time for everything. I hadn't seen that one before.
Again, 1st and 10 from the Giants 13. Tostin is the lone setback for Jordan Palmer. Tostin the call, the missed tackle, and then he fights himself down inside the 10. Let's go down to Howard Cross after the 4-yard gain.
Guys, before the game, they were walking around doing a 2-minute drill, learning where to spot the ball, how to spot the ball. Maybe they should have went over how to pick up the flags if they throw them.
Come on now, Howard. Why don't you get one of those stripes jerseys on and show these guys how it's done?
I'll tell you right now, it is a hard job. I'm not being funny or anything. It is a hard job. Just watching them and watching what they did in the pregame, it's tough.
It's tough. Plus, if they haven't done it at this level, makes the intricacies even more difficult. Missed tackles there.
And Tostin powers his way into the end zone for a 9-yard touchdown. And suddenly the Jaguars are within 31-30 with 2 minutes to play.
Look on the sideline. Look on the sideline.
Tom Coughlin is not pleased.
Well, you can't be pleased because it's the little fundamental things now that are showing up with these young players. You get a missed tackle right here in the backfield. Then he's running in. You get a missed tackle there by Hill and Jones.
The Jags are going to go for 2. They don't want any part of overtime. They are going to go for 2. Tostin with 5 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. And the fans understand why the Jags are going for 2. I guess they'd like to go home early as well.
Yeah, they would.
Palmer out of the gun. Complete the 2-point conversion. And the Jags jump on top 32-31 as Matt Viedman makes the reception. So the Jaguars take a 1-point lead. We'll see if the Giants can respond.
After the touchdown and the 2-point conversion and capturing the lead with the 2-minute warning in tow, here comes Jernigan getting Scobie's kick, and he's tripped up and he's out to the 18-yard line. He had a couple guys there beating the track on him after the 18-yard return. Brandon Marshall was the guy to get him, and there's big Matt Veldman. That scoring drive was good. You see that Tostin has the 9-yard run, but he also had a 32-yard run, which was wonderful to watch, and that really gave them the scoring position they needed.
He showed really nice vision in the backfield on both the runs.
Yes.
The one he scored on, nice cut back. He got outside off tackle, broke a tackle, cut back into the middle of the field. Big gain on that 32-yarder.
All right, the Giants have 3 timeouts. They trail by 1. Timeout Jacksonville. Now the Jaguars are down to their single timeout remaining.
Some confusion in that and the defense. A lot of second and third team guys lined up out there, and it looked like they were lined up wrong in their front 7 and did the right thing. No problem burning a timeout under 2 minutes when you're on defense. This is where you want to get a stop and finish the game off.
All right, so 1:55 to play here on the 4th. Time now for our Bud Light play of the game. And we've seen several things that really could be in that category, but we're going to go with the #1 running back for the team right now, or rather the #1 special teams player, Montel Owens, who got a nice block from a former defensive lineman now playing guard and bowling balls his way in. And so,
like you said, could have been a lot of great. Well, another. I think that it was either that one or the first touchdown pass that Blaine Gabbert threw into the corner of the season short. Either one of those would have been great choices, but a nice run by Montel Owens. I think that won it because how he finished running over the Giant defender.
There's a 1st and 10. A little dancing around there, and finally Audric Ray out of Tulsa was there, and the initial hit put on him by J.K. Schaefer, rookie free agent out of Cincinnati, limiting the quarterback of the Giants to a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd down and 8. And he rifles that baby in there. Julian Talley out of UMass grabs that one, a rookie free agent for the Giants.
They don't want to give up too many yards here. All the Giants need is a field goal to take the lead.
Pickup of 12, 1st down to the 32. 3 Giant timeouts remaining. Ryan Perilou on 1st and 10. Up the middle he goes. Dan DePalma out of Westchester, Pennsylvania.
If I was the Giants, I'd burn a timeout right now. You have 3 of them. You're going to be under a minute. Still inside your own 40. I don't know why they don't burn it.
2nd down 5. Perilou hit. And the escapability is there. And here he'll be on the run. And he is chased out of bounds by Audric Ray on that defensive line. No gain on the play.
Big 3rd down for this Giants offense and the Jaguar defense. Really 2-down territory now. There's 3rd down, and if you don't get it here, there's no reason to punt the ball. The game would be over. So if you're the Jaguars defense, you have to be thinking the run is still in play here with the Giants having 3 timeouts in 2-down territory. Don't be surprised if Kevin Gilbride spreads this defense out and does an underneath handoff with a draw out of the shotgun.
Wilson, the rookie, is back there with Perilou. 3rd down and a long 3, short 4. Underneath, Talley. And he's got the 1st down, running his way after the catch to about the 47. He was tackled awkwardly by Harris. He picks up 10. Timeout, Giants. 2 remaining, 37 seconds to play in regulation. Oof, boy, oh boy.
That looked ugly. That's when you're glad they're flexible.
You know,
if I got tackled like that, every joint would dislocate.
And I almost would pay to see that. But no.
I appreciate that.
No, just, last time I saw a quarterback throw to a receiver and have the receiver bent so awkwardly and so Gumby-like was Massaquoi when he took the shot from James Harrison.
One of the biggest hits.
In Pittsburgh, yeah, the Cleveland receiver just took a hit that folded him back like an accordion. And that was incredibly painful. And that, just like watching that was painful to watch.
Those guys, they're amazing athletes. The way their bodies can bend and move and pop up and have nothing wrong.
See, that yoga works. 1st down and 10 from the 48. 2 timeouts for the Giants. And everybody moving.
Looks like a little bit of a quick start by number 71, the left tackle.
Hey, on the Giants. Still 1st down.
I think that's Matt McCants, the big left tackle for the Giants. Working against Aaron Morgan, who's already beat him once for a sack. And I'll tell you what, 2-minute drill, you've already gotten beaten once by a defense end you're facing. You start twitching a little bit out there.
We'll give him some help. Put a tight end over there. Get a running back or somebody. Chip somebody, sure. 1st and 15. I don't think these officials have done that bad a job now. 43-yard line. Perilou. Oh, great pressure up the middle. They had a little party back there. Corvey Irvin out of Georgia. They throw him for a 5-yard loss. A couple others joining in the fray. Back to the 39.
Corey Irvin's going to get credit for that sack, but give it to Aaron Morgan once again, beating Matt McCants off the ball with a nice speed move with a little rip. Forced Perilou to step up into the pocket very early and ran right into Davis and Irvin. And then you had Aaron Morgan at his feet. Great pass rush.
All kinds of guys in there. Davis and Corvey.
That's why he was twitching. That's why McCants was twitching earlier.
I'd be twitching too. Now McCants is a rookie. And he is his eyes are wide open tonight. He's out of Alabama. He was a career starter at UAB. But this kid right here, Aaron Morgan, is fired up.
It's a big year for him. This is a big preseason for him.
You're exactly right. Good call.
It's really a make or break, at least for this ball club. He's fighting for that last defensive end position, and he's going to make it as a pass rusher.
2nd down, 19. Perilou dumps it off to Wilson. And then hit by Antoine Blake, who's recovered a couple fumbles on punch tonight. 13-yard catch and run. Still shy of the 1st down, though. Timeout taken, I think, by the Giants again. They had 2. They're left with 1. The ball down to the 46.
That time they double-teamed. They did what you told them to do. They put a tight end over there to chip Aaron Morgan to make sure he was taken out of the play. Still a little pressure up the middle. The Jaguars' front 4 is getting after Ryan Perilou, but you see the athletic ability, buying time, moving around back there, and then getting it to probably the guy who's had the best night for the Giants, David Wilson.
Well, they've got no timeouts remaining, with the Jaguars leading here, 13 seconds to play, 32-31 over New York.
Realistically, they probably need to get it.
Jacksonville Jaguars football, brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Everbank, Jacksonville's home for banking, lending, and investing. Buy and sell Jaguars tickets at NFL.com/ticket exchange. Don't wait. Buyers get in and sellers get paid. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars took a timeout as the Giants assembled quickly at the line. So now Jacksonville's out of timeouts, and the Giants, I think before I said they had 1 left, they are out of timeouts as well.
And I jumped in there a little bit early right before we went to those billboards. What I was about to say.
Was that what they're called? Billboards?
Or whatever they're called. They're ads. What are they called? I mean, you're the pro. the advertising.
Sure, about 99% of our audience doesn't know what a billboard is.
Well, those things you drive down the road and see.
Well, we know what those are, but on here people don't know the broadcast.
Advertising.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
We'll call them advertising.
Anyway, you're going to make a good point. I know. You're going to make a good point.
Back to the football game. You need to get down probably the 35-yard line, which would make it about a 53-yard field goal to give yourself a good, legitimate chance for a field goal if you're the Giants.
3rd down and 3. Perilou.
Aaron Morgan again.
Oh, he got away, and he's going to get the first down with the throw. And it's caught by his fullback, and that was Martinek, and a flag. 2 are down. 1 at the 42, 1 at the 45. Martinek caught it. Perilou did a good job to evade the rush and get open and throw.
Very
illegal forward pass.
He crossed the line of scrimmage.
The line of scrimmage.
And that should be, and they should start the clock. There's a penalty on the offense under 2 minutes, Kevin. And so they're going to have to back it up because with the Giants out of timeouts, without that penalty, the clock would have run out. And so my understanding of the rule, they should start the clock as soon as the ball is set.
We'll see what they do.
Yes, on the quarterback, on the Giant. 5-yard T. Clock will start on the snap.
I guess I'm wrong.
At the 46. Deep coverage for the Jaguars. The couple of players inside the 20.
Well, now the officials are getting together again. I think my understanding of the rule is the ball is supposed to start once it is set because the penalty is on the offense. The clock would have continued without the penalty because the runner did not get out of bounds.
And that's what they're discussing right now.
Which is critical because with only 2 seconds left, the Giants are going to be very organized, be on the ball, and snap it immediately to get one last play off. And realistically, all you have a chance to do is throw a Hail Mary.
They're going to call upstairs. There is a they're going to see if he was across the line of scrimmage, which I believe he was. You can see the line of scrimmage is just inside the 42.
Now the rule with that is...
I'm sorry, excuse me, the 46.
The rule with that is, Kevin, as you know, the entire body needs to be across the line of scrimmage.
That's clearly...
Which I think he clearly is.
Clearly is. And that is what they're reviewing. And that was the hesitation on the field.
But you see the Giants still lined up on the ball. I think they believe, which is my understanding, the clock is going to start immediately once it is called into play. Because they're not huddling. They're on the line of scrimmage. Which I promise you Tom Coughlin and Kevin Gilbride are yelling at them to be prepared. And you can see we got about 5 or 6 Jaguars all lined up on the 5-yard line. 45, 50 yards away from the line of scrimmage waiting for the jump ball.
They actually have 7.
Thank you for correcting me. I played offensive line, so you know.
Well, no, a couple were in transit, so you were right.
I was close.
A couple were still moving down, but they do have 7 inside.
I didn't get to my second hand before it was time to say something, so I got to the 5 and I just threw it out there.
Well, Mike Mularkey told us that at the end of the day, regardless if it's a practice game or a real game, winning is what he wants to do.
Absolutely. You always want to win, and I promise you the guy across the field from Tom Coughlin wants to win this ball game as well, because I've been in the locker room after losing a preseason game, and Tom's not happy.
Mike Mularkey looks like a young Sam Weich, doesn't he?
And he has a great demeanor.
And they're friends. And they've worked together, and it's in fact, I worked at CBS with Sam for a couple of years, and Mike was an assistant working his way up the ladder, and I can remember Sam saying, this guy's going to make a heck of a head coach someday.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. The passer was past the line of scrimmage with his entire body when he released the ball. Giants ball. 3rd down, 2 seconds on the clock.
there are NFL replay people here. They are not a part of the lockout.
Now we're still going to have some more discussion. We're trying to get everything set here.
Bring the linebacker from the side. Ryan Davis, he disrupts the play and seals the Jaguar win. They win it on a 2-point conversion, and they beat the Super Bowl champions 32-31.
And you talk about never having a chance.
Wow.
That play was over before it started. Ryan Davis just beat the offensive line off the ball field, off the snap, and he was in the backfield in Perillou's face before he could even look down the field.
It was 24-7 Giants. And the Jaguars come back, and like we said, preseason game or not, when you're starting from scratch like Jacksonville feels they are, that is, I think, the mentality of everybody now, that this is a nice win for them.
And you can see, actually, Ryan Davis just unblocked at the top of the screen.
He disrupted the play.
Just ruined the play. And you look back at this ball game, you talked about it was 24-7. Jaguars take a 7-point lead, then 4 state scores for the Giants. And really, what it was tonight, Kevin, it was a game of turnovers. A lot of buff pumps and a lot of different things that gave each team point-blank opportunities to score.
Jaguars come from behind, win it on a 2-point conversion late on the Jaguars television network.